IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Thankfully, it's National Stress Awareness Day.
It is.
The day after the election.
Give me one of your healthy ways to
sounds
relieve
great.
stress. What's one of your techniques, Bart?
Yoga.
Oh, my God.
Jeez. Yoga was not what I had on my bingo card. I shoot whiskey. I do drugs. I run. I go in the woods and shoot my rifle. Yoga was not what I was expecting. I mean, he could have said anything.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it.
Back to Safe Sports Radio.
Ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I can't believe it's Friday. I mean, this week has just absolutely flown by. I had to check yesterday to make sure it was actually Thursday.
I know. It's weird.
And now it's Friday.
We're in the same studio.
Yeah.
This is weird.
What's
I
it
haven't
been,
seen you all
Monday?
week.
Monday?
Yeah, I haven't seen you like in a week.
We had that fiasco Tuesday morning from Miami.
It really was.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It really was.
I know.
I felt like I was doing a show with somebody on the other end of a speaker at a drive-through
I understand.
restaurant. You know, when you get in there and you're like trying to order, you can't. They can't hear you.
Keep interrupting
You
each
can't
other.
hear them.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get your order. It was like 3 hours of that.
Yeah, I understand. And then you were gone.
And then eventually I just moved on to the next vehicle
I
and
understand.
took their order.
I understand. I would have done the very same thing.
But it's good to see you.
It's nice to be in your presence today as well.
Is that right?
See,
it almost didn't happen.
Yeah.
I got up. I spent, I had this decision to make. I went to Dallas to do some work with SMU for the college football playoff, which obviously they're right in the middle of and a lot of stuff going on there. Fortunate to be involved with the college football playoff show at ESPN. And I had the decision to make, as you always do when you go from Northwest Arkansas to Dallas. Do I drive or do I fly? It's an easy flight, but then you got to go to the airport. And then depending on what you're going to do when you get there, all this stuff, you've been there.
Right.
Do you drive or do you fly? And I decided to drive. And, man, on the way back, I was like, well, first of all, on the way there, there's no way to avoid rush hour on the way into Dallas.
It's always
anytime in the afternoon.
It's always rush hour after lunch.
On the way back, it was much better. Anyhow, I spent, let's say 11 of the last 24 hours in the vehicle. And, got to bed at a decent hour last night. I was thinking I'm ready to roll. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. And I get up this morning and I'm like, man, it's, 4:15. I'm not feeling this. So I'm like, do I just tell those guys, hey, have a nice Friday. I'm going back to bed. So lay down on the couch, and I got a second wind, and I'm here. I didn't think it was going to happen, and I realized that this is what Chuck does. He just he comes in well rested. Yes. We've talked about this. Like, I don't know why I missed this the first week of the show. Like, day one we did the show, I got up at 2:58.
What are you doing?
What an idiot. What an idiot.
I didn't want to say anything. But,
So then, I kind of slide it back, and now it's 4:15. I don't know what. From now on, I think I'm going to come in like, I pulled in the parking lot today, and I thought I was at the wrong place. There were cars in the parking lot. And this is the move right here. I feel a lot better than I did an hour ago. I feel a lot better than I did an hour ago.
You're a lot more enjoyable to be around. I mean, you really are. I mean, an extra hour of sleep means everything. It means everything.
Your jackass meter goes way down, Bo, when you get some rest.
That's exactly
By
right.
the way, my family couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
they
I
couldn't agree more.
understand.
You're exactly right.
Trying to do their work for them.
We're here to help each other. I appreciate that.
I can say the things maybe they can't. So
it's true. Well,
trust
me. They say it. Oh, trust me. They say it.
That's funny.
Doesn't go very well.
That's funny.
But, sleep is underrated.
No, you can't.
I mean, it is. Now, look, if you're struggling this morning, you're on get up, you got to go. You got to get it done today. But moving
you have
forward,
to go.
You got to get up and go. But like, and it's always harder for people to go to bed earlier. But we just you got to get your rest, man. I mean, it's we all talk about this and we all act like, oh yeah, I know. And then we don't do it. You got to take care of yourself. I feel way better. Where were we? Anyhow, good morning.
Well,
Yeah,
we
that's-
were just.
We haven't been in this. It's been a weird week. You
Kinda catching
opened
up.
the week with you opened the week on the show saying this is a really important week
A lot of stuff's happened.
for Razorback football, and here we are on Friday. How are we feeling about it?
I think that's a good question. I mean, if you're one of those people who jumps to conclusions with everything that happens, every time there's an announcement, if you're one of those people who jumps to a conclusion, you're going to jump to a lot of conclusions between now and, maybe the first part of the year because there's so much going on. And 1 minute you're hearing about a player that you really like and he's leaving, and then you hear about a player that you really like who's staying. And all this activity on social media about players making announcements and declaring for the pros. And, the portal's not even open yet. It doesn't even open officially until Monday.
Store opens on Monday.
Yeah, so I got two takeaways from this week. The first, I thought it was really important that Bobby Petrino stay. And I like the fact that they have signed two really good quarterbacks. Now, the Amalavala kid and I know I'm mispronouncing it, I'm going to have to learn to say it.
Iamaleava.
Yeah, I've heard it about. Yeah,
One more time?
That's not the way.
Iamaleava.
That's not the way Bob Kessling, the Tennessee play-by-play guy, told me. I'd been practicing it all week one way, and you're totally wrong. And but at any rate,
Hold on, just pause.
All right, go
I
ahead.
can see this now.
Oh,
Chuck,
awful.
you didn't tell us that.
Oh, it's horrible.
So you were in here all week practicing like in the breaks, and so you're about to go on the air. You run into the play-by-play guy, legendary
Well, I
play-by-play
wasn't
guy
about to go
for
on. It was
Tennessee.
a couple hours
Well,
away.
anyhow,
Yeah.
after spending a week working on it, 2 hours before the game, he's like, "Yeah, that's not how you say it at all."
Yeah, no, that's right. He said it a totally different way, and I'm like, oh my god,
That's
And
fantastic.
So, I had to go off. I literally walked back
I
into
would
a room.
not want to be around
Yeah.
you in those
Oh,
2 hours.
I'm like, oh,
Pacing,
God.
where's the coffee?
Yeah, I was just like saying his name and still screwed it up. And
Talon drops back the pass and he calls him Imalav something.
yeah, it was just brutal. But
I'm
at any
looking for
rate,
the pronunciation guide right
Yeah.
now. We're gonna solve
It's
this.
not
you
right.
can discard pronunciation guides. I can tell you from experience, not just with him. Some of those are right and some of them aren't. But at any rate, as I was saying,
Say it with confidence,
yeah.
whatever it is.
My two takeaways this week from a Razorback perspective is Petrino's staying, and I like the fact that they've signed two really good quarterbacks. The kid from California, as I'm going to call him right now, is the one that's getting a lot of the attention because it was unexpected. And he's from somewhere else, and he picked us.
He's supposed to go to UCLA.
Yeah, after he picked UCLA. But Grayson Wilson is the cream of the crop in our state. And I hear people all the time saying, man, you got to keep the best in-state guys in a Razorback uniform. Well, he's the guy. And so I'm anxious to have them up here.
Two really good quarterbacks.
I think
apparently.
Arkansas needs to stockpile at that position. We spend a lot of time talking about offensive lines and front sevens and all kinds of stuff. Frank Broyle said it many, many, many times. It all starts with the quarterback. It's about the quarterback. And when you say it's not about the quarterback, it's because yours isn't good. It is about the quarterback, and you've got to be good at that spot. And I think that the fact that they've gone out and gotten these two guys, and it's not going to kill me if they get another one. It may hurt some people's feelings. But and I don't know what their plans are. I have no earthly idea, and I don't want to pretend I do. But my point is, I'm not going to say a recommitment to that position because I don't think that would be accurate, but I see the desire to upgrade at that position, and I think that's important moving forward. The other thing on a more national level, and it does involve some Razorbacks. There was a player yesterday, Patrick Kudus, that announced he was going into the portal. I was surprised by that. But from a national perspective, it's about the money. I mean, those who are holding on to the ideal that it's not going to be that way in every case. There's still going to be a few out there, but it's about the money. And there's a lot of it being tossed around out there.
The Kudus thing is interesting because he redshirted here. He played in the last game. He looked good in the last game against Missouri. And had he been, and I don't want to say he wasn't injured, but I want to go air quotes on healthy. Had he been healthy the entire season, it could have been a different year for Arkansas. We know they struggled up front. They moved some guys around, and we heard Pittman say his name quite a bit. Like, it was sort of week to week. It was one of those things, and Braxton was another one. Is this guy ever going to play the corner? Mm-hmm. And Kudus was one of those guys, and it doesn't get a lot of play because the offensive line's not that fun to talk about. So it's not the coffee conversation. But had he played, I wonder what the impact would have been. I think it could have been significant. But he didn't. He played in 4 games, which allowed him to redshirt. Was it 3 or 4?
4.
4 games that allowed him to redshirt. So the idea was they were going to save his redshirt so they would have him this year or next year.
And there was a conversation about that, from what I understand.
And then at the end of the year, he's like, thanks for saving my redshirt. I'm going somewhere else.
It's probably going to be within our league.
And the point is, this is the dynamic that players and coaches are dealing with right now. So what football has always been, and this is what Saban was so good at, and teams that won, they're good at it or that win, have been good at it for a period of time. And that is playing for each other, playing connected, playing as a team. I'm playing for Bart, Bart's playing for me. You know, I'm not just playing for me. And what NIL and the money has done, it's made that more challenging for you to play for other people because now you're playing for your own money, not just winning.
Oh, you're right.
And so both from a player's perspective and a coach's perspective, you're looking out for your own interest. And that is a really difficult dynamic in any organization. And I believe, along with the transfer portal, it's led to some of the parity we're seeing now. I mean, Georgia's as good as I think, you know, at times they've been over the last 5 to 8 years, whatever it's been, that they've been sort of, a dynasty is not the right word, but they've been up there in the top 3 of college football for several years now. But they're as inconsistent as I can remember them being in a while. Ole Miss came in loaded. They were inconsistent. I think some of the inconsistency we're seeing, I mean, we're all emotional people. We all have bad days, bad weeks, whatever. You add this in there and you're trying to go out there and compete. Things aren't going well. You're still getting paid. Are you still putting the same kind of effort and consistency in every week? It's a different dynamic. I think it impacts things, and that's just a microcosm of it with what's happened with Kudus here.
I've wondered, particularly the last month, what's going on behind the scenes and thus between the ears of a lot of these players whose season is coming to an end. And we all know now that, and we've all just been made to understand that it's pretty much a one-year deal. You know, it's all year to year now in terms of whether or not a guy's going to be with you. The point that I'm making is I wonder how many people are in the ears of these players when you get toward the back end of the season. And by in their ears, I mean tampering that goes on from other schools, agents, family, people that want to handle your money, people that want to help you get rich, multiply what you have. They're all out there. Some of them are leeches. Some of them are good people. You got to figure out which is which, and that's hard to do. I remember when I used to do baseball with Arkansas, you'd get to the end of May, and kids would, or sometimes even before then, kids would start getting a little draftitis, and you could see it coming because they just had so much going on between the ears. I'm not saying it makes them bad. It's only natural that something like that would happen because all of a sudden it's like, hey, man, I'm about to graduate college. I got to go to work. Now, they're doing it from a sports perspective, but it's still the same realization. And I've wondered, with a lot of players, not just the vets, but with a lot of players, what November's been like, particularly the players that play for teams who aren't in contention for the playoff. What's going on in their private world as they plan for their next football season? Because wherever they're going to play next year, they're going to be enrolled by January. They're going to be moving and they're going to be going. And so some of them have 4, 5, 6 weeks, less than that, to live where they're living now. And so I just can't help but wonder if all those things factor into some of the performance or the lack of performance that we've seen from players.
We are in the most volatile college football time, and maybe basketball too, but for certain college football that I think we've ever been in the 25 or 30 years that I've been covering the sport. But so much to get into here. It's Friday. It's been
we got championship games too.
Huge weekend coming up. A lot has happened this week. We're recapping and we're kind of diving in on some stuff. Just getting started. It's 6:17, the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations.
Hey, Chuck, I made some good calls today.
You sure did. You sure did.
13 Days of Deals starts now at Fayetteville Auto Park. There's never been a better time to buy. For the next 13 days only, everything is on sale. Aggressively priced up front, based on the Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor. Tons of pre-owned below $29,999, plus all your favorite new models. Honda, Acura, Toyota, Chevrolet, and more. Our biggest sales event ever. Now through November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy, this is it. Tons of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose. The deals of the year are here at Fayetteville Auto Park. We've got a great selection of pre-owned, many priced under $29,999, but only for a limited time. Closeout pricing means you save big on every new or pre-owned. What are you waiting for? You've only got a few days to lock in these limited time offers. Absolutely ends November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show, located on West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Online at FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Pre-owned sale. All offers mutually exclusive. Expires 11/30/24.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. That's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this. For just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians, backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to GoPascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978. For 5, 10, 15 seconds, stare it down and ask yourself, is this really a bracket that's going to determine the best team in college football?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372.
You know, some of these, it's National Signing Day, but you know, a lot of places it's National Bank Day, right? They just use money.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, the Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy Chevy and Ford.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
You're listening to The Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
So if I get offended right there, do you get offended at me for being offended?
No, I don't get offended at you for being offended, but I do think there's an issue with you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know, some of these, it's National Signing Day, but, you know, a lot of places it's National, Bank Day, right? Like they just use money and they buy their class, right? Team I'm on, I know what we spend in the revenue, in NIL. I know that our number and where it's at, and we're playing schools that are 3-4 times that much. You're talking $20 million on a roster. So there's some teams that are trying to get into college football playoffs that have spent, over $20 million and they still can't get in. And I know we're at, basically 25% of that, and we're knocking on the door. That's why I get excited about going forward. If we all kind of use the same checkbook, I get really excited about where we can go.
There you go. Anybody recognize that voice? Anybody? Who's that? Let's play who that is. Whose voice is that? That's the Illinois head coach, Brett Bielema. That's a point, though, that's a feeling, I guess, that's shared by many.
It is shared by many, and I understand the viewpoint. I also understand the viewpoint that in professional sports, there are lots of teams out there that have bigger budgets than others. The idea that everything's going to be fair and everything's going to be equitable, that's a pipe dream. That's not going to happen. You can complain about it, and look, if I was a coach and I'd lost a player, or I was a coach and I was consistently losing to a program that was spending a lot more money on their team than I was, I'd want to make sure people knew that. But, it's just one of the realities, and I don't think it's going away.
You better what it's done is it's made it harder on coaches. It hasn't ruined college football. We're still enjoying the heck out of college football. It's made it really hard on coaches because the coach's job is to get everybody together and plan for one cause and all that. And we don't know what these deals are, okay? Bielema's comments there, shared by many, that, look, it's hard on coaches. The players are loving it, and that's great. What's interesting for fans, I think, is we have no idea what guys are getting paid. So in the NFL, we talked about Dak Prescott and the big contract he signed, and every contract that's signed and every deal that's done. I'm not saying we know every single thing about it, but it's known. You know what the deal is. In college football, you have no idea what the deal is. We have massive rumors, massive speculation. We have negotiating happening with players to coaches that the coach doesn't even know if that's true. And it's wild. We don't have any idea, like, what these agreement, like, did Kudus and Pittman have an agreement that he was staying, and was there money, like did the Edge give money for him to stay, and was a contract? Like, we have no clue. And I think that's part of the problem that fans have. I know it is part of the problem they have with NIL. If I give you money, what's even happening with it? Like, how do I even know you're spending it correctly? In the NFL, if you want to listen to sports radio about the NFL, this is what a lot of the conversation's about, like how a coach is managing a player and what the salary cap is or what it's not, and how we're spending our money and how's the organization being run. Like that's the conversation because it's professional sports. Why didn't we go? What is the Cowboys conversation, man? Why didn't we go out and get this player in the offseason? Why didn't we get that player in the offseason? Where are we spending our money? Why didn't we do this? That's the world that college football's in right now. So it's not just about you got to get the organization set up because you're in professional sports now.
Well, here's the thing about professional sports.
And you better realize that as a organization.
When you talk about salary caps, for example, the NFL has guardrails to save themselves from themselves. They really do. They're running for-profit businesses. and they have those safeguards in place. There's no rails in college sports. There are no rails. There is no gutter. I mean, it's just it's a total free for all.
And here's what agents will tell you: college football is not going out of business. Schools aren't going broke.
No, the television money's too great.
I remember when Chad Morris got hired and Jimmy Sexton was there, and I asked Jimmy, "Do you feel any responsibility as an agent for like these massive deals that are going on in college athletics?" And he's the power broker. And he looked at me and he said, "Bo, when's the last time that you heard about a school going bankrupt?" So if you're the agent and you're representing not just coaches now, players, and you can get the money, you're going to get the money. And I don't blame you for that. That's the way the system's set up. There's the rules that we live by. I mean, this used to happen all over the place, and people would cheat. But now it's like not cheating, and anybody can do it. And so it's like get what you can get. It's not about, I'm not saying the competitors don't want to compete, they don't want to go play. But we've created this system where I think it's ruining some players. I mean, we've seen it happen. I think it affected KJ.
We've got Exhibit A. I mean, we've seen it happen.
Yeah, and now you're like dealing in areas that you have no idea how to deal with. And what I'm saying is you better figure it out. Like a football program is no longer just a football program. It is a professional organization. And so which is challenging because you're in a .edu world. The best coaches that I have known for the last 25 or 30 years say this: you better be aligned. President, athletic director, and head coach need to all be aligned. They need to all be on the same page because lots of things have to happen beyond the coach's control to get where you really want to go as an organization. Well, that thing's like just sort of shattered now.
Well, hey, it's...
And you got to figure out how to get that thing all together.
Here's the thing, though, and we're getting really broad right now, but everyone faces similar challenges. And the things you're talking about, the things, the money, all those things, those are just the realities of the situation. And, I mean, Arkansas... bring it back home. I mean, Arkansas is better off than they were. So are a lot of the others. But the thing that I've noticed this week, and it's had to do with our players and other players, and it's like you're talking about, is the money. And it's affected what's going on here. But, when you look at Arkansas' situation, there's still plenty of good things that have happened this week. Losing Kudus was that was a blow. Losing Satania's a blow. I know a lot of people think losing Singleton's a blow, but there's some good things that have happened this week too. So you're right. I mean, big picture. There's no question about all that.
I'm sorry. I went NFL front office.
No, you're exactly right.
I know it's deep, but it's just
you're
it's
exactly
sort of
right.
And in a related story, Johnny Manziel is 32 today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Johnny Football.
What if there'd been NIL when Johnny Football was around?
Well, there was.
Well, I
he
guess
was
so.
in the hotel room signing autographs.
So. I guess that's right. That's
making
right.
bank.
Signing footballs.
Go watch his documentary. That's another hilarious thing. What was this? Remind me. The whole Will Wade fiasco and Sean Miller and the HBO documentary, that did not age well. The whole FBI investigation, all the like that's all legal now.
Well, everything's legal now.
Well, it doesn't.
It doesn't make it.
It doesn't change.
It was not legal then.
Well,
I mean, it was not legal then.
I'm aware, but like it's like
no.
When we
where I was going, I was going to say it doesn't change the fact that Will Wade is just kind of slimy.
Like I don't know. I've heard good things about Will Wade. Anyhow,
I haven't.
Well, whatever.
I know what you're saying.
He'll give you a good deal.
Happy birthday.
Strong.
Happy birthday, Johnny. Johnny's 32.
You know what?
All right, we'll get into something better. But this is part of what's happening right now.
No, you're right.
And it's going to be really interesting to see, like we said, this was a really important week. And it's Friday, and you've seen things happen. So if you want to jump in at 877-377-6963 and you want to weigh in on how you're feeling about the Hogs. They got 2 new quarterbacks. We might see a different quarterback next year. We don't know. So it's a really interesting week. It's also going to be a really interesting offseason. Like where we are in August of 25.
Yeah, I mean, it's still all got to get here.
And I'm not just talking about Arkansas.
Well, let's just talk about spring practice. What's the roster going to look like for spring practice?
Well, let's just talk about the bowl game.
Well, let's just talk about this week.
Who's going to be at the bowl game?
Let's talk about this weekend. We're going to call names at the bowl game. Yeah. We may not call until the spring game.
6:32 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one Razorback. Number 1.
This holiday season, make your moments unforgettable with a gift from Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. From brilliant diamonds to vibrant gemstones and timeless watches, Blakeman's has something for everyone on your list. Our team is here to guide you in finding the perfect piece, whether it's a token of love, appreciation, or holiday celebration. Visit us in Rogers and see why Blakeman's Fine Jewelry is Northwest Arkansas's go-to destination for gifts that shine. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye. The 2 best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
National Championship Program. National Championship Coach. A match made in hog heaven.
This program, you talk about some of the best jobs in the country. In basketball, this is one of them. This fan base is so engaged. I love it.
Throws it up at the horn. It's good. Arkansas's going to win the game.
This program is the state's program.
Listen to every moment of John Calipari's first season.
Right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. 'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
Hey, this is Dr. Cole Johnson at River Valley Smile Center. You hear my partner, Dr. Charles Liggett, at 12:15 on halftime every Monday. Dr. Liggett and I have worked at River Valley Smile Center together for 11 years now. Like the Hogs, we have a great team. Do you have a unique dental procedure, a complex dental problem, or are you just nervous about dental work? Come see me for sedation dentistry, implants, implant-supported dentures, as well as cosmetic dentistry. We are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith at the River Valley Smile Center. Check us out online at rivervalleysmiles.com or call 479-646-0706.
Jelco Outdoors and Sig Arms are teaming together this Saturday only to make your Christmas very merry. Jelco will be paying the sales tax on Sig firearms and optics. Free box of ammo with qualifying purchase of 200 or more on any Sig products. Register to win a Romeo 5 G2 Red Dot Scope, and there will be Sig swag giveaways with Sig purchases as long as it lasts. Sig Arms sales representatives will be in the store Saturday from 9 till 3. Merry Christmas from Sig Firearms and Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Waldron Wave Rural Connects. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
What's new and what's on sale at Wheeler Power Sports? Many new bikes, quads, and side-by-sides from Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Polaris are arriving weekly. New to the dealership, the Polaris Ranger XD 1500, Kawasaki Ridge with a full cabin HVAC, and the all-new Brute Force 450. Plus, we have rebates and dealer discounts totaling as much as $6,000 off certain side-by-sides. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Does the show feel like it's always a friendly environment? I was going to say, just like
I guess it depends on which side of the fence you're
It's
on.
friendly. Sometimes you get yelled at, but I mean, it's still friendly. We have donuts. We have
Bart's
sauce,
friendly.
We have kolaches.
Bart and Edward friendly.
We have donut holes.
We've
we have
trained
coffee.
ourselves.
We've trained ourselves. we're taking a mediocre victory lap today.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, we went on a run there where it was kolaches
Stream
and
of consciousness.
donuts every day. And that too.
I was talking about the last segment.
And then we just kind of just stopped, as we did with the last segment.
I did stop yesterday on the way home and got a kolaches.
Yeah. That's less expensive.
Well, it is less expensive. And I looked at that and I thought, geez, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. I wasn't here yesterday morning, but I was listening, and you guys did a remarkable job talking about Bob.
Well,
and I didn't get to be here and be part of that, but and there's really nothing I can add to everything that was said yesterday. And I will just say I can't recall. And when Paul Eels passed suddenly in a car accident, we didn't have social media like we have it now. But I don't recall seeing anybody in our profession, nationally even, get the outpouring of just condolences and memories that Bob Holt, the impact that Bob Holt had on everyone is astonishing. Like I was just like I was blown away. I was listening to Feinbaum on the way back. I mean, he was doing us. There's quotes from everyone. The commissioner, every athletic director that was around him, all these coaches that were around him, coaches from other teams. I mean, every national writer you can imagine. And Bob was the guy that asked questions that nobody really wanted to ask, and he would ask it 2 or 3 times, and he could annoy the coach that he was asking, and the coach would still like him. He had this, what he was in a word? He was curious.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Because he would just walk up to you and just ask you
would.
whatever question about
right.
whatever was on his mind.
You did not have quick conversations with
And
Bob.
then he would ask like 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
But he was so disarming and just such I mean, it's been said. I don't need to go on and on. But today, I was driving in this morning and I was thinking about Bob and I was thinking about this. I was at SMU yesterday. I mentioned that we were shooting for the college football playoff, and I'm riding into school in the back seat. Rhett Lashley has 2 sets of twins, 14-year-old boys and 8-year-old girls. So I'm in the very back seat of his SUV, trying to stay out of the way of the 3rd row with 2 8-year-old girls, and they're on the way to school, and they're going to get donuts, and Dad's dropping them off. And I said to Rhett, I go, you got a massive game on Saturday. Like, I know a lot of coaches that their 100% focus right now would be just all on this game. How are you even thinking about taking your kids for donuts and going into the office? And it was part of a bigger conversation about balance and life and all this stuff. But he said something to me. He goes, my number one my number one priority in life is my family. Winning the Clemson game on Saturday is second to that. And I thought, man, how many coaches are willing to say that? But it's a great perspective. And then later he said, when I'm gone, it will not be about how many championships or undefeated seasons or whatever I did as a football coach. It'll be what kind of dad was I? What kind of husband was I? What kind of friend was I? And then I told him about Bob. And it reminded me today, like I get so lost. I can't speak for anyone else, but I get so lost sometimes on what I think success is, or what I'm chasing, or what I'm trying to be good at, and why am I trying to do that? Like, what's driving that? And when someone passes away, and we see this outpouring of Bob, and you said it yesterday, Chuck. I mean, we rarely, in all of these wonderful eulogies and stories that Bob has received, which, by the way, can you imagine Bob reacting to the reaction that he's getting? He wouldn't believe it.
He'd be embarrassed.
He would be embarrassed. He would be blown away. And he was great at his job, but that's not what people remember. That's not, sometimes we don't realize the impact we have. And what an impact. What a story. And how many people's lives that he touched just by being Bob. I mean, just incredible. It still is every tweet in my feed. The For You on every single one, and they're all different. Oh, yeah, there's another one. There's another one. There's another one.
The one of the things that's really stood out to me, and I mean, like, we knew this, we realized this. I'm talking about us being, media people who have been in those press conferences, who have been in that setting, who've spent a lot of time around Bob through the years. All the coaches who had something to say about Bob, had something great to say about Bob. And it was about, like, those interactions and about how much they appreciated him and about how well he treated them and how well he treated the people around him. Like, Bob had a tremendous impact on a lot of people. And that, Bo, to your point, is really what matters.
I'll tell you one of the reasons I think coaches respected Bob. In a media press conference, post-game press conference, there are confident reporters and there are quiet, meek reporters. Some people are courageous enough to ask questions, and some people aren't.
There's a few more things in there, too.
Hang on. Let me go on here. Some are afraid to ask questions, and some of them aren't. Bob's repeated line of questioning oftentimes was, number one, for the reader, but number two, for all the slappies in the room who were afraid to ask the question. And coaches know among the media people who's courageous and who's not. And they run roughshod over those who aren't, and they respect those who are. And I think coaches respected Bob because they'd been in enough of these and they were smart enough to know that Bob was asking the questions that the fraidy cats in the back of the room wouldn't ask. And I think they came to respect that because they understood the process. They understood the game within the game. And Bob did some interesting things in those press conferences. But a lot of times it was always for the reader, number one. But it was also for some of the media people in the room.
Well said. Bob Holt passed away earlier this week, and the outpouring continues, and we will remember with a smile that we saw so often. It'll be a completely different environment when we go to games and press conferences now. Back with more on the Chuck and Bo Show in a minute. We'll get to the phones, 877-377-6963. It's Friday. It's 6:46. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've been waiting to say this for 5 years. Sterling in Center Ridge.
This is quite the coup that they have put together. Bo and Chuck. This is a dream team. Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013, with popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA. There's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Scion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Does the show feel like it's always a friendly environment? I was going to say, you know, just
I
like
guess it depends on which side of the fence you're on.
It's friendly. Sometimes you get yelled at, but I mean, it's still friendly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you don't wear tailored clothing, dressing up a lot, you don't want to spend a lot of money on it, the rental is the way to go because you get in a lot less expensive. Your party all matches and you look really coordinated with the ladies in your event. You get to try it on so everybody knows that it fits. There's no worries the weekend of the wedding. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental because it's fun to look good.
Hi everybody, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at First Financial Mortgage with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan was my mortgage lender here, and Ethan, between you and Emily, over 2 decades.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of experience here to help you get closed on a home really quick. We offer custom financing available through VA, FHA, RD, and conventional loans. First Financial Mortgage has a great history of lending in the area. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Let's take you as an example. You're rich, but you're still here.
I am not rich, or I wouldn't be here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Dan is in CrossFit. Dan, it's Friday. Good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. What say you?
Good morning, guys. As always, appreciate the opportunity to be on your platform, and glad what you said about Bob. Like this is sports, right? This isn't.
Right.
I'm not some psycho with Sam's poster in my wall with push pins all in his face, right? Like it's not. This isn't in the world stuff, but it is enjoyable to talk about and interesting. But you know what worries me a little bit, and Chuck, a little bit your comments earlier, like guys, we know what the NIL situation is, right? Like let's not. I don't want to get where Sam and guys are making excuses about it. Like you know what you're getting into. Like you know what it is. If you don't want to do it and deal with it, then hey, pull a Jay Wright. Like I got more respect for Jay Wright now than I did when he was winning, right? He said, hey, this isn't what I signed up for, guys. That's not what I don't want to be a general manager. I want to develop young men and work with them. But the reality is this is where we're at. You guys said it. It's not going away, okay? There's a difference in reasons and excuses. Like, I just don't want Sam to get in this pattern of, we can't keep up with these boys, and that's
well. For the record, just so we don't get our wires crossed here, that we actually, ironically, played a clip from Brett Bielema, not Sam Pittman, and that was Bielema talking about.
Right.
But I just don't want anybody to be confused by that. But I hear what you're saying. Here's what I would say, and I respect your points, and certainly the one you make about Jay Wright and some others, Nick Saban, that have decided that this isn't for them. I get. I would also say if you're a coach right now in a job, in the middle of a contract, I don't fault you for telling fans this is out of my control. Like when Bielema got up yesterday at Illinois and said it was National Bank Day at some places, what he's saying is, look, I'm spending the NIL money I have the best I can, but it's 25% of what everybody else has. And by the way, he could have something to do with it, but it's not really his job. That's like getting up and saying the Razorback Foundation isn't selling enough, isn't raising enough money.
But Bo, does anybody in their right mind think that Illinois has the same money that Ohio State does?
No.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
Like he's not telling us something he's not telling us something we don't know. That's what I'm getting.
Let me throw this out here, though. You talked about coaches and making excuses. In professional sports, when a franchise loses a player to free agency, we don't blame the head coach. When a player for the Cowboys signs a free agent contract with somebody else for more money, we don't blame Mike McCarthy. It's only in college sports. It's only
Jerry Jones.
Right. We blame in college sports. We blame the coach. When
professional sports, who do we blame?
We blame the general manager
or the
owner.
The owner. Yeah.
My point is My point is only in college sports do we blame the coach for losing a player to another program for more money. In professional sports, we blame others. We don't hold the head coach accountable for it, nor should we. I agree. And I don't blame Sam for losing these players necessarily. Hey, if Patrick Kutas gave Sam his word or in any verbal said, hey, I'm not going to redshirt to leave, then that's something that Patrick's got to live with, right? That's on him.
Yeah, and we don't know.
That's something that he'll look back on it, and we don't know. That's right.
But that's part of the issue, too, is we got to hit the break, and I think you made some good points, and thanks for the conversation.
That was good, Dan.
No, it was a great call. I appreciate that. We don't know, and that's part of it. Like, we don't have any idea what the offers are. Like, professional sports, somebody went and signed for whatever. We have no clue on any of this. Like, it's so behind the curtain. And that's one of the things that, as you professionalize, I think you have to change. 6:56 on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heated air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
We were doing everything right. We were moving the ball. We had it. We booped. Wide open miss. Another one here missed. I was ready to strangle myself. Like, come on.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Aaron, what's going on this month?
We have new Polaris units on our lot, such as the Ranger XD 1500, the Sportsman 6x6, and the Razor Pro S. We have discounts here for the 2024 Polarises that have up to $6,000 off the original price. If you guys have any questions, call me or text me at 479-783-5822.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Sunny skies. It isn't going to be as cool. Our high temperatures this afternoon right around the mid-40s. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight. Overnight lows in the low 30s. Saturday back to sunshine. A high in the upper 50s north, low 50s south, and then a little wet weather Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Finding your joy in cycling is the main goal at Champion Cycling. Champion Cycling takes pride in helping you find the right bike. Whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure, Champion Cycling has a great selection of bikes, including brands like Specialized Surly and Salsa. Need service or repair? The friendly, professionally trained technicians will assess your bike's needs and provide you with a free, no-obligation estimate. Find your joy in cycling at Champion Cycling, 5500 Mazur Road in Fort Smith.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown, Arkansas! How did he get that wide open?
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Some days you hit snooze.
but not today. Today, you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
The holiday season can be stressful. Luckily, Dave and the crew at Eastside Liquor has everything you need for this time of year. Crowded homes, annoying relatives call for peppermint schnapps, or maybe you're just a typical brown water guy. It really doesn't matter, because Eastside Liquor can take care of everything you need. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith with a convenient drive-thru. And you can call them, 479-452-7311. Eastside Liquor, everyday low prices on beer, wine, spirits, and cigars.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I'm a lurker. That's what I am. I lurk on Facebook. I live through other people.
What's that actually called, Bart?
Like stalking, internet stalking?
No. I'm lurking on the side, just kind of checking it out.
He churched up creeper into lurker.
No, you guys are turning it into something else. I'm just saying.
That's what it's called.
I just observe. I'm an observer.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings
It's just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
What's that?
That's what I found.
What? Oh, you found your
the
phone?
Whole first hour.
Where was it?
It was in my truck.
Yeah.
I left it in the truck. You see how focused I was?
Yeah.
In the first hour?
I know. You were locked in, man.
You lost me. God. 48-year-old ADD phone addict.
Well, I mean, you got your phone back now.
Yeah,
You
I'm
seem
in
like
trouble.
it. Take a deep breath. Take a deep
Watch
breath.
out,
That is
world.
hey, there's been a couple of times on this show when I've forgotten my phone at home. Same spot. Both times I've left it at the house. And you get here, and it is a...
Where was it? On the back of the toilet?
It was in the bathroom. I'll just put it that way. It was my bathroom clock that morning. And so...
How did I know?
On the counter. But my point was that when you get here and you don't have your phone, it changes the way you view the world.
Yeah. I mean, we can all relate to this. When you get down the road and you don't have your phone... I mean,
You got to go
It's a
back.
nightmare.
It's not that, and people want to make fun, like, oh, you can't live without your phone. No, you're used to living with your phone. So, like, I've got a plan going, and it's with my phone. You know what I mean?
Well, it's
and when
not
it's
like
not
you can-
there, then you got to adjust, and it just throws you off.
We say, I remember when I was a kid and we didn't have cell phones. Well, that's been a long time ago. And you're used to having your cell phone now. And so when you don't have it, the world's different.
Right. There was a day where you walked down to the end of the driveway and you got the newspaper.
That's right.
And you got your day started. You know, you find out what's going on in the world. I mean, it's not the same day.
No.
But anyhow, it's here, and I feel better now.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I mean, I'm glad you're here. And so,
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, Bart's. I know Bart's happy too. You were missed.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday,
Yeah,
you were missed.
I'm sure.
It was a much more relaxed atmosphere around here. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, there's some.
But,
look, it's always a time for self-evaluation. I don't mind it.
No, I'm not saying
don't
it's
mind.
a time for
No.
self-evaluation. I'm not saying anything.
It's National
like that.
Microwave Day, by the way.
Yeah, I remember when we didn't
Eat
have
you up a hungry
microwaves,
man.
boys.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Here's a saying for you. We live in a microwavable society.
yeah, that's
Everybody wants everything. Just like put it in the microwave, and there it is.
It's also national. Yeah, I was going to say.
What was that voice?
Pseudo Lou Holtz. That was pseudo Lou Holtz.
What?
One more time on that. One more time on that. That was really good. We're going to have to go back and listen to the tape on that one.
Was it Bob who did the Lou Holtz impression?
I think it was an Eddie Sutton, wasn't it?
No, well, I don't know, but I thought he did a Lou Holtz.
Bob,
he did a bunch of impressions.
everyone that was around back then, I think, did a Holtz impression. And, of course, everyone had a Broyles impression.
Guys,
Some were better
we live
than
in a
others.
microwavable society.
Yeah, that's not close. I'm just going to tell you, that's nowhere close.
Where's that one? We got to get all of our old clips back.
Yeah.
We had the one of him just, it was great. Lou Holtz was, it's
we'll have it in a few.
It's also National Bartender Day.
Yeah.
You know?
Tip your bartender.
Yeah. Tip your waitress.
Yeah, exactly. We've got news on Bill Belichick. Did you see that broke yesterday?
I don't believe that.
You don't believe what?
That he's going to be the North Carolina coach.
Well, the news is he interviewed.
He doesn't interview.
I agree with that. I think this was one of two things. It was them asking for advice, or do you want to come in and be a consultant or general manager? Or it was Bill Belichick just letting the NFL know that he's got interest from other people, and if anybody wants to hire him, they better get on it. But what would it look like if, as a Razorback fan, you woke up today? Can we talk hypothetically just for a second?
It's what we do best.
And you found out that Pittman said, "Hey, you know what? I've just decided that my friend Bill Belichick's going to take over. He's going to be the head coach." How would you feel as a college team if Eli Drinkowitz said, I'm going to, I had a good run at Missouri. I'm going to take some time off, and Bill Belichick's going to be the guy. How would the Missouri fans feel? How about any other program? Bill Belichick as the new head coach in your program. What's your reaction?
Well, in North Carolina, you're trading 73-year-old Mac Brown for 72-year-old Bill Belichick. So you say, they're going after a young coach. They're going after the young guy.
It's a package deal. You get his 25-year-old girlfriend.
Well,
she's there to help.
Okay.
No, she's there to help. It's like a coach's wife.
Bill Belichick's a lot more comfortable on college campuses than he once was.
Right.
And so, maybe so.
Hey, you're interviewing Bill, and you're like, man, I'm concerned about, you're old and the age difference between you and the players. And he's like, my girlfriend tells me how to do that.
All he's got to do when someone says you're too old is like turn and say, have you seen my 25-year-old girlfriend?
Right. Well, but can you see
I can relate to the kids today.
We're off track. I apologize.
Yeah, we are.
I don't have any room to talk. So you have a Bill Belichick announcement somewhere. He's head coach college football. Is that fan base excited? I mean, the reason I'm asking is because we're like a couple of years removed from calling this guy the GOAT, and that suddenly went away.
When Tom Brady left, he was no longer the GOAT.
Because it became pretty clear and evident that the reason for the Patriots' success through the years was because Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, not because Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's a really good coach. Let's not get that mistaken. But it was because of Tom Brady. It wasn't because of Bill Belichick.
I think Bill Belichick managed that organization, managed 100%. His team in a very effective way. Now, there's other ways to do it, but his way works for him. But without Tom Brady, he is not the GOAT. He's not even mentioned in the same breath with the GOAT.
But your point, though, is a good one because it's like, who is a great coach without great players? And managing Phil Jackson was nobody without all those players.
No, you're right.
But how many guys could organize and manage?
That's part of it.
I'm not dismissing it.
Like
but that doesn't make you a college football coach. Does not make you a college football coach.
Back to the question. So would you be excited or not?
I would not be excited.
Okay. All right. What if I said Bill Belichick is your new general manager? So what mostly he's going to do is he's going to find players for you.
Well, one of his weaknesses as a coach was talent evaluation in the draft.
What was Bill Belichick's record with Cleveland?
That wasn't good.
With New England? What was his record without Tom Brady?
Is
what I'm saying.
So you're saying he's not a great Italian?
No,
okay.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
so Bill
that
Belichick is
I would not make that move if I was North Carolina's AD. I would not. If I was Bubba Cunningham, I would not make that move.
36-44 with Cleveland.
He's the new John Gruden, though. A job opens, or you want a job to be open. We can get Gruden. I mean, John Gruden he's wearing an orange tie. He wants to go to Tennessee. That's going to be the new Bill Belichick. People are going to be like, it's going to be a novelty.
I do. Wearing a baby blue tie.
Yeah.
I do want to give some credit to North Carolina for just like, if this is truly what happened, what's been reported, like for taking the swing. Like same with Central Florida asking Lincoln Riley. Like
my God, I don't think they asked Lincoln. That is such. No. I don't buy that for a moment.
Well, maybe not, but I appreciate teams taking a swing. Like, hey, what about you? Well, I mean, that's really what happened with John Calipari. Hunter Yurachek was like, what about you? What if?
Well, there were some other things that led to his.
I understand, but I appreciate a program taking a swing at a big name coach.
I understand what you're saying.
I hear you.
I would say that if you don't have a general manager right now, you need to get one.
100%.
Like you need a talent. Like there's a new position in college football, and it's not head coach. It is we need the best talent evaluator that we can find.
Talent
and we
evaluation
need to get them on
and
our
retention.
Staff. Who is a great talent evaluator? And people in the industry probably have their opinions. They know that all of those circles. I don't know that we have, our finger on the pulse of that, but that's the deal now. And again, Chuck, what happens every year around the NFL draft? It's all about talent evaluation, investigating players, what kind of character do they have, all these deep dives. Now we're just like, hey, here's a sack of cash. Come play quarterback for us.
There's a lot of guys that are busts in professional drafts too. I mean,
that's a lot of busts. That's right. So take that and then go to the college level, and we're not even evaluating at that level.
You're right.
So there's going to be way more.
Oh, I think the one thing that I've always wondered about with the NIL, and you kind of touched on it in the first hour, is people that pay that money want to, they want to feel like they're getting some kind of return on their investment, and they want to feel like they've got a hand in that player's success. And when that player's not doing well, they're going to want to know where their money's going, and I think all those things are going to come into play.
J.J. Andrews, have you heard of him?
I've heard of him.
I didn't realize he's Sean Andrews' son. Yeah. He played at Fayetteville High School last night. They got a tournament.
He's the real deal.
Yeah, they're talking like a generational type basketball player,
deal.
like a Joe Johnson.
He's really good. Really, really good.
Sean Andrews kid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Yeah. Oh no.
Wow. Speaking of basketball,
he's the real thing.
Cal and like 4 coaches were over there last night. And I don't know if it was that many, but I think 2 or 3 of them were over there watching him play.
Oh, he's going to have a lot of coaches, and already has, and will continue to have people watching him.
But talent in evaluating it in the portal, as well as recruiting, we've done it from a recruiting standpoint in college football for a while, but obviously the portal's a big deal. It opens on Monday. The biggest surprise so far is Kudus, the offensive lineman. Patrick Kudus is entering the transfer portal. One thing to point out, Chuck, and I don't think it matters that much because I think these guys that have entered Satania, Singleton, Kudus that have entered the portal are leaving. But you don't have to leave just because you put your name in the portal. You could do that as a negotiation ploy.
Well, we've not seen a lot of that. Most of the time when you enter your name in the portal, you're out.
But you don't have to be.
No, you're right. You're right.
And the coach could take you back. You could change your mind.
Every coach out there initially said, if you come in and you talk to me about entering the transfer portal and you enter the transfer portal, you're not coming back. Now, we've seen some exceptions to that. And we may see more as we go along. I don't know. But that's I don't expect the ones who've entered the portal to come back. I'll put it that way.
877-377-6963. Eddie's in Clarksville. It's Friday morning. Happy Friday to you, Eddie.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey,
I'm very sad, and I'd like to give a tribute to Mr. Bob Hope. I mean, you've heard me say, I refer to people that do great work associated with our program. And when you talk about Bob Hope, he's right there with Orville Henry. That's who I grew up with. they provide insight to our fan base. And certainly we've lost a great, I refer to them as good shepherds. You've heard me say many times, and sometimes I feel like we lost leadership at the U of A, truly, when we lost Frank Broyles. Look at all the great works Frank Broyles accomplished. And the facilities up at the U of A, I can tell you right, he had high expectations of our program, and he lived up to that. Let me say this, if you would allow me, just say a couple of things. As you get older, like Bob was just 65, I'll be 60 in January. And certainly this program has echoed in me, a song composed, by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. This program's echoed in me and many of our fan base like California Gold. Let me say this. We can't do nothing now but move forward. Decision's already been made. And you heard me say, I know you've taken a beating over me, Bo Madley. But one thing I love about you, and Chuck Barrett, you may not agree with it, but you allow fans to voice their opinion. You heard me say, Eddie from Clarksville has a dream. And that dream will never die. It must never die in our program. It must never die in our fan base. It must always be burning. Let me say this. Tara Tubman said about change, over a century ago. And, she did great work for change to take place. She said, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and passion to grow. And when that flame must always keep burning. I love this quote about change. Somebody once said simply this. Every day, in our own personal life, even in a football program, the clock resets. And it says it doesn't matter about your past failures. Don't stress on what was, but always strive what could be. Let me say this. I don't think our program is where it needs to be. And I'll tell you that. I'll tell the President of the United States that. I'll tell Mr. Yurchek that. And I'm telling you this. All right, the decision's already been made. I'll tell you this. You better go get some offensive linemen. I'll tell you, enough is enough. If you don't address this offensive line this year, one of the most imposing schedules I've ever seen. And I've been a fan for 53 years. I'll tell you what, you better address it, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Eddie, thank you. Here's one thing. And let me say this.
Yeah.
And I appreciate his dream. Let me say this. I'm on this kick today. And here's the kick that I'm on today. It's about the organization. And I think as fans, we're failing to see we are not, and I'm not just talking about Arkansas, I'm talking about many places in college athletics. We are not set up to lead the organization. And we're putting coaches in really difficult spots. And we're out here having fractured conversations and partial conversations about NIL and whatever. But he mentioned Frank Broyles. And Frank Broyles had more juice than any athletic director this state's probably ever had. And he led the organization. I'm not sure that's possible now. I'm not saying it is. Like, as an athletic director now, you're dealing with things that are out of your control. So I don't even blame when the organization's off base. I don't even blame the AD. Like, he has to get people to get on board to do certain things. But in college athletics, we have administrators. We have educators. We have the .edu world. And we started overpaying coaches, and then we started overpaying athletic directors, but it doesn't mean that any of those people have the experience of running a professional organization. Some of them do, most of them do not. We have this entire world that is upside down, and the only people that we talk about are the coaches. But we have a massive professional organization now that is not being run like a professional organization. And I know everyone's dealing with the same thing. I get that. But I don't think that you just change a coach and that gets all taken care of. Now, if you get the right coach and all of a sudden people believe in this person and they're able to sway opinions and get everybody on the same page that they got to get on the same page, all the way up to the president and the board and everybody else associated with the program, the big donors, maybe that can happen. But there is a lot, and it's not just what you call or what you draw up on Saturdays.
Well, it's kind of like Cal said. Coaches don't win championships, administrations do. And there's probably a lot to be said for that.
Man,
I'm just trying to figure out who's going to win the Georgia-Texas game.
Let's talk about it.
You guys are trying to solve all of college football's troubles.
Sorry, I got some extra sleep.
Jeez.
7:21, good morning. My bad. Here we go.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Everyone remembers the Florida A&M game, and later became known here in Pulaski County as Rattlergate.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Save up to $15,000 off. The Red Tag savings are back at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Your choice. Save up to $15,000 off new Silverados or up to $15,000 off new Blazer EVs. That's how we do Red Tag savings at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 12/2/24.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnomcosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Robert, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. I should say it?
Say what?
Mom, I think he wants to say that it's Christmas time.
Okay, you can say it.
It's Christmas, everyone, and guess what, guys?
What?
Santa shop's here at the Stadium Shop. Oh, Lord, Mom, here comes that dad side. Nope, I saw him. Matt, you still do believe in Santa, right? Sure. Believers do get more presents.
Okay, so what did he get?
Let me guess, a couch for the elves, collars for the reindeer, maybe even a hoodie for Frosty. You know how cold he gets being made of snow and all.
And let me guess,
some Razorback jewelry for Mrs. Claus?
Well, yeah, Matt, you better get that Google machine all warmed up. He said he was going to be ordering some more stuff.
Google machine?
Yeah, you know, the Interfacegram WW.
I think he's talking about our website, which you should know by now, Dad. It's shoponrazorback.com.
Or have Santa give us a call at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486.
So come by 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville, and you just might catch Santa Hog.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Ho, ho, hogs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
This is my problem with people and criticism. Like, you get on social media, you create a fake account, and you say things. Like, if you're going to call for somebody else's job and you're going to make a big statement, put your name on it. I am Bart, and I did the billboard. Bart didn't do the billboard. But put your name on it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
877-377-6963 if you want to chat. It's live. You can call in. You can share an opinion. You can yell at somebody. You can wish somebody a happy birthday. I don't know. I mean, whatever you want to do today. It's Friday. We don't care. I found my phone. I got a little extra sleep this morning. I tried to tackle all the world's problems in like the first hour and 26 minutes of the show.
We're going to change the world in the first 90 minutes.
Chuck just wants to talk ball.
I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, I woke up.
What are we doing, man?
Listen, at 5 o'clock this morning, I was like, I don't think I can go. I don't think I can answer the bell.
And by 7:30, he's changing the world. I mean, a little bit of sleep, some caffeine, and all of a sudden, you got all the answers.
I got all the. And they just came to me as I was driving in. I got that little extra 20 minutes.
Bo had an epiphany.
And they
about
just
10
came
till
to me.
6.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like, you hop in the shower one day and all of a sudden everything becomes clear. Your mind just starts working. You get a new idea. Next thing you know, you're selling vacuums overnight on TV and they're buying all of them. A new invention. There we are.
Right.
It's the rainbow.
You need to go back to getting up at 3 in the morning, walking around in a daze. Bo's got too much energy. You can get too much sleep. You can get too much sleep.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, what game are you most excited about this weekend?
Well,
Arkansas, UT San Antonio at Bud Walton Arena.
Well, I need to get kind of excited about that.
1 o'clock tip tomorrow.
And then it looks like if you go to the game, second half for the Georgia-Texas game, it kicks off at, 2:30? If I'm not mistaken, 3 o'clock. So basketball game starts at 1, over at 3. I'll be out of there by 3:35, 3:40.
Yeah.
Home by 4. Second half.
This is how Chuck plans.
Yeah.
This is how Chuck plans his life.
That's right. This is it.
He's like, okay, when am I going to be able to get home and watch
What time am I going to get out of there?
It all starts at 11 a.m. with the Big 12 championship, Iowa State, Arizona State. Quick pick. Who do you got?
Iowa State.
Okay. Then Georgia and Texas.
Georgia.
Is it 3
Georgia.
o'clock? Okay, yeah.
Georgia.
You got Georgia.
It's like a home game. People have not been talking about that.
So you think Georgia's going to win twice?
Georgia's going to
I
beat
heard
Texas
a stat
twice.
that I didn't know. More often than not, the same team wins this game.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's like 6-2 or something. And
sometimes if you're better, you're just better.
And Saban and Kirby Smart are the two in this game on a rematch situation that have flipped it. Those are the two coaches.
I will say again, Texas is in the SEC championship game without playing Tennessee, Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Missouri. In my opinion, that's why Georgia will win. I may be wrong. But that coupled with the fact that it's basically a home game, I'm going with the Bulldogs.
Tulane at Army.
Haven't really broken that one down. I'm waiting on Bart's locks. I'm sure that's going to be part
Tulane.
of it. Is that a championship game?
Yeah, it's the American Athletic Conference.
Huh.
Yeah. Big brands.
Yeah, brand day.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of brand games, I don't know if you saw this. The game with Illinois, the basketball game, was watched by 5.1 million people. The largest viewership for a regular season college basketball game, second largest, since 2008. That's the value of playing a brand game on a holiday. Now, I know Arkansas got beat. It would have been better to have won that game. But 5.1 million people, and I'll draw you a comparison. The Duke, North Carolina game, when they're really good, that'll draw about 1.5 million, 2 million people on ESPN when they play a night game. and even on a Saturday night. So
that's why they went and played in Kansas City.
That's exactly
you
right.
can't control
That's
the outcome.
exactly right.
I mean, you
can't
want to win
right,
the game,
right.
but like you
But
put
that's
yourself
why they did it.
in a marketable
Right.
situation.
And when you said brand game, sarcastically
I'm glad
about Tulane and Army,
right.
it made me think
Well,
about
I'm glad you brought that up.
Right.
I mean, those are huge numbers.
They are. 5.1 million people. But both times, and the only one that was larger was like 5.2, and I forget who played. But the common denominator is both of those games followed an NFL telecast. That's the power of the NFL.
Penn State, Oregon.
I'm going with Oregon.
So we got the Penn State-Oregon game and the Clemson-SMU game at the same time on different channels, obviously, but CBS and ABC.
I'm going Clemson.
Those are big games.
Clemson with a P.
Yeah, I know.
With a P.
Yeah.
Clemson.
Yeah, I know you're going Clemson. Anybody taking SMU?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I am.
SMU's pretty good.
Well, say it like you mean it, Bart.
Here's what
Well, I mean,
I
look,
like
I don't
look. I like SMU, and I'm not going to be upset if SMU wins. I just think Clemson's going to win the game.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people do. And it'll be really intriguing to see what this selection committee does if that happens. Do they knock SMU, a 2-loss at that point?
Yes, they will.
Team out of the playoff.
Yes,
They're currently
will.
sitting at 8. And if you go lose a championship game after Ward Manuel said that the teams that don't have a data point can't move unless something ahead of them happens. If you're SMU, you should just opt out of the ACC championship because all you're doing is helping Clemson.
I don't agree
potentially.
with that. I don't agree with that. What Ward Manuel said. I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with what he said?
Right, because
well, I mean, most people don't. They think it was the guy's out there talking, and he doesn't we're like, what do you mean?
Like the fact that if you don't play this weekend, you can't move in the rankings is ridiculous.
Well, it hasn't been true previously, has it? With bye weeks?
No, not at all. But my point is, teams that other teams played are playing this weekend. And if Georgia loses again this weekend, should that not impact how you view Alabama? Like that, Alabama played Georgia, beat Georgia. Like that's.
We can't help it, Chuck.
No,
we're back to solving the world's problem. Here we are again. We're deep in the weeds again.
This is important. This is college football playoff. I mean, I get it. We're not talking about anything more important in America right now.
We got to hit a break. We'll touch on it when we come back. But it's like how you value conference championship games and teams benefiting from not playing in those games.
They mean
or
less.
Getting hurt for playing in those games is remarkable. Like, why would you want to play? Why don't you just opt out of the game? Like players opt out of bowl games. Why don't you just opt out? And for the health of my team, I'm in the playoff right now. We all got sick. We couldn't play. We're still in.
Well,
because you got no more data point on me.
Congratulations.
Here's the thing about SMU. Nobody's got more to lose tomorrow than SMU.
That's right.
If they lose that ball game, they're out. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it should or shouldn't be that way, but we all know if SMU gets beat, they're out.
That's why they put Alabama at 11.
Probably so.
No, they put them right there.
Probably
based
so.
on that.
But you look at the other teams. I mean, Arizona State's got a lot to gain tomorrow. They got a lot, they got something to lose, but nobody's got more to lose than SMU.
It's the Chuck and Bo Show, 734. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think that having Brian, allowing him to call in occasionally, is a healthy reminder of why you don't like Texas. The holidays are all about making moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you find a gift as special as the people you love. From sparkling diamonds to classic watches and colorful gemstones, we have something for everyone on your list. Stop by Blakeman's and Rogers and let us help you make this holiday one to remember. Because at Blakeman's, it's more than jewelry. It's your story. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Taylor Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
The SEC has changed.
Major breaking news in college basketball.
Our coach has changed. Our roster has changed. One thing that hasn't changed, who we are. We are a championship program. We are led by Hall of Fame coaches. We are over 19,000 strong at home, and we are just as powerful on the road. We are the ones you counted out. We are Razorbacks.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Brad Tyson and their entire team are so thankful this time of year during the holidays. We appreciate all of our customers that enjoy the beverage bar at Boonville, the hot food at Phoenix, and the deli at Jam Mart number 10. We know you're loving the updated pumps at our gas stations, and we're continuing to strive to find new creative ways to improve every single day. If you love Jam Mart, please leave us a 5-star review on Google. Happy holidays from your friends at Jam Mart.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment has paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Unto us a child is given, and his name shall be Wonderful, Counselor, Emmanuel, God with us. Mike Blaylock with Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services. From all of our families here at Blaylock, we would like to wish you and your family a very, very Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Are you ready to ride like a rock star? Then contact Luxury Limousines. Their 28-foot stretch limousines set up to 8 people. Once you're inside, enjoy superior sound, enhanced lighting, ice-cold AC, plus your own chauffeur to take you anywhere. College games, concerts, special events, and the upcoming Christmas holiday light tours. Just go to Facebook and like Luxury Limousine. Serving Fort Smith and all of Northwest Arkansas. Luxury Limousines.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, 16 years in the industry. Cecil, this is the one-stop shop.
Yes, Jazzco Graphics Design, the one-stop shop, 2415 Midland, for your custom or buck order.
Why ESPN 95.3?
I really enjoy listening in, and it keeps my day going while I'm at work. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I remember Clay, when he wore shorts and hush puppies and drove a Honda Accord. Now he's got a truck with a rack on it, and he's like hitting deer and, living out in the country as a rural mountain man. Unbelievable. Hey, you hit a certain age, man, you hit that crisis, and there's no looking back.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
How was Clay yesterday?
I'm fast approaching that age. Clay was good. Yeah. He was good yesterday. Clay had a lot of memories and wrote a column about Bob, and we talked about that. And Clay was Clay.
Huh?
Clay was Clay.
That's why he's here.
That's right. The amazing Clay Henry.
William's in El Dorado. William, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, what's happening? What's going on?
Hey, William.
I got a question. Chuck, let's talk old school. Let's change gears.
All right.
Man, I got two, we all have favorite Razorbacks, and I'm going to bring up two names that are old school that God rest their soul, but they're two of my favorites, and one was William Mills, and potentially he was one of the better athletes I've ever seen as a Razorback on the court, and Ron Urey. And I got a third one I want to bring up, and every time I hear the word transfer, I think of this guy. And, Chuck, you can probably understand this better since you were around then, but transfer, Sunday Adebayo.
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell me how that whole process worked when he was with us? He went to Memphis. He came back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang up and listen, but I kind of like to know that whole story.
I don't know that I know all the details.
Gather
on
around.
Why he was declared ineligible at Arkansas. There was at the time there were some rules that the NCAA determined had been violated, and I don't recall all the
I think it was about
details.
Eligibility.
Yeah, it was about eligibility. Bottom line was he was declared ineligible to play at Arkansas. So he transfers to Memphis. He's playing over there. And then there was a ruling that, no, the NCAA was wrong when they ruled him ineligible at Arkansas. So he was allowed to transfer back to Arkansas without penalty. He didn't have to sit out. Back then, and it was pretty hard and fast unless you could prove that there was a major financial hardship if you were not declared immediately eligible. That was a rarity. And so, when he was declared ineligible at Arkansas, it was determined that it wasn't his fault, and so they allowed him to play right away at Memphis, and then he came back to Arkansas. But in terms of what I's were not dotted, what T's were or were not crossed, I don't know. I was not privy.
Well, Nolan always felt like he got screwed on.
Well,
that.
he did.
Pretty bad, yeah.
I mean, he did, and but I don't recall all the details on that. And honestly, I didn't know a lot of them then.
How about that? If Chuck's math's right, also while we're going down memory lane, 55 years ago today was the big shootout.
That's right.
69.
That's right.
Arkansas,
December
Texas.
6th.
Yeah.
1969. I believe I'm right on
When
that.
is the last time a president was at a game? We know Clinton was at the national championship basketball game. Has there been one?
Well, Trump was at the Alabama games this year.
Right. I'm talking about an Arkansas
here?
game. Yeah.
It would
It'd
have
be
to
Clinton.
It would have to be Clinton at Bud Walton Arena
Yeah.
a few years ago when they honored.
So still a big deal.
Championship team.
Still a big deal if the president shows up. So back in 1969, it was a big deal. Then it'd be a big deal.
Oh, it's a big deal.
Now. Yeah.
Well, you go back and I mean,
Doesn't happen very often.
there's that iconic picture from that day, and
Yeah.
there's President Nixon.
Well, that's
and
the thing people point to,
future
like
President
immediately.
Bush and John Connolly's there, who was.
Were you there, Chuck?
No, I was not there. I was not there.
6-year-old Chuck?
No, I was. I did not make it that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was.
You're probably watching the broadcast, taking notes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing that made
6
you a
years
Razorback
old.
fan.
Yeah, 6
6.
years. My first memory is funny. Every time Eddie calls in, he brings it up. My first vivid memory was Joe Ferguson beating Texas in the rain in '71. That's the first. What I remember about the shootout was the locker room. That's really all I remember was President Nixon in the locker rooms after the game.
By the way, getting back to the college football playoff, maybe this summer we'll do a show when I became a Razorback fan.
That's right.
We'll do that.
What was that
that'll be in
moment?
July.
Yeah.
The moment I became a Razorback
When
fan.
Bo goes out of town,
Yeah.
make a note of that,
Yeah.
Bar. When Bo goes on vacation, our
Chuck
first show.
loves these shows.
When I became a Razorback fan.
Remember when. Gather around, get you a hot cup of
remember
coffee, and let's remember.
Gather around the radio.
When. Who's going to be remembering tonight? Will it be UNLV or Boise fans? It's a big game. How about UNLV being a win away from the college
Who you got
football
tonight,
playoff?
Bart? Is that going to be part of your locks here in a little while?
UNLV, what are they, plus
Maybe.
4?
Maybe.
It's,
All right.
it's at Boise because in the Mountain West, the championship game is on somebody's home turf.
Yes.
UNLV plus 4?
UNLV +4.
That's the word on the street.
That's the line.
Yeah.
That is the line.
Turn your mic up a little bit.
Is
or
that
maybe
what
it's
your
just
guy
me.
has it as +4?
No, that's what
That's
Oaklawn
at the barber shop.
Oaklawn Sports has.
At the barber shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Our friends at Oaklawn Sports.
Back in the day, it's National Bartender Day. That's where you had to go. You had to go to some shady bar.
That's
and
right.
Get your bookie, and they
Major
give
bookie.
you fill out your little sheet.
I'm going to offer.
I can
Those
take
are
you.
good old days.
I can take you to a couple.
Yeah.
Of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to offer an opinion.
Please do.
Boise State should be ineligible to host the Mountain West Conference Championship game.
Why?
Because of that damn blue field.
Wow.
They had to clear all those ducks off the field for the
It
game.
did.
Who wins
It's
the
so
game?
annoying. It's
got-
so annoying to watch a game on that.
You got
turf,
UNLV
man.
tonight? I got UNLV. Rooting with my heart.
I'm rooting for UNLV.
I'm rooting for UNLV all the way.
Are they playing in Boise?
I'm rooting
though?
for SMU against Clemson. Those are they're playing what?
Are they playing at Boise tonight?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Albertsons Stadium or Field or whatever it is.
What channel is the game on?
That one is on Fox, I believe.
Is it supposed to
Yeah.
snow? Sometimes it snows out there this time of year.
It's not in the notes, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's on Fox.
What is it on?
Where?
What page is it on
Where
the
is
notes?
it in the notes?
Where is
it's
it?
it's under what to watch on
Is it on
television
3C?
tonight.
Oh, you
okay.
mean it's not
well,
like in the
I mean,
list
you
with
got
all
the
the
games
conference
listed right here,
championships?
and you got networks listed
Okay,
next to
that's
all
great.
of them, and there's nothing there.
Okay,
So
great.
you got to flip over to 3C in the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, and there it is on what to watch. That's what I miss about the newspaper, Chuck, is you could just look over there in the column, go all the way down. There's everything on television. We haven't replaced that yet. We should start putting it out from the Chuck and Bo Show on social media.
Don't get me started on lack of a newspaper.
Gosh,
man.
dang.
That's
We,
dumbed down America.
I mean, that's something people want to know. Where's the game? It's on Fox. That's a big channel for Mountain West. They bounce around between like the CW and the CBS Sports Network. Hey, we got to hit a break, but I want to tell you we're brought to you in part by Oaklawn, and Zach Gillum's coming up a little bit later. Live racing begins
today.
Live racing at Oaklawn. Oaklawn.com. Get more information. Check out the resort. And don't forget to download the Oaklawn Sports app in the Apple Store or Google Play Store. Sign up today. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Arkansas's best sporting app or sports betting app. I like to say that. I don't know why I say sporting app, but I do.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Well, it's very
sports
sporting of you.
Betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. Back in a minute on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, first and foremost, congratulations on the official launch of the Chuck and Bo Show. I want to know, how did you guys decide which name went first, Chuck or Bo? Was that a flip of the coin?
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heat and air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Save up to $15,000 off. The Red Tag savings are back at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Your choice. Save up to $15,000 off new Silverados or up to $15,000 off new Blazer EVs. That's how we do Red Tag savings at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 12/2/24.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Malvern December 7th and 8th at the Hot Springs County Fairgrounds. Join us Saturday, December 7th from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and Sunday, December 8th from 9 till 3. Tickets are just $10 per person, $8 for police, and only $5 for veterans in the military. Children 16 and under are free. Go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with and supporting those who serve our communities. From the ones who are making a difference in big and small ways every day, to those who are helping create better tomorrows. We appreciate everything you do, and we're proud to work alongside you. Because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special. We have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. I'm buying them at the Bakery District today.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flats Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flats Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flats Mob Jr.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Chuck and I didn't talk for 4 years.
That's right.
And I was trying to find his email, and sure enough, it was there.
Last text I sent to Bo like 5 years
Right
ago.
before COVID.
Popped up.
Right before COVID. We didn't even check on each other after COVID.
It said, "Don't call me ever again," but I ignored that. I ignored that and called him back.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, my gosh. Connor Wegman's in the transfer portal.
That's what I've heard. That's what I read. I read in the show notes.
The transfer portal opens on. None of these
Monday.
guys are in the portal. But it's not even open yet.
They
I don't
just
know why
made
I said he's in the
announcements.
portal. But by the way, I don't know who's on the line either. But if we have a call, we'll take it. But Connor Wegman's going to enter the transfer portal. Patrick Kudus announcing yesterday, or became clear, he's going to enter the transfer portal. So that's Satania, Kudus, Singleton. There's others, but those are the guys that.
Well,
that are
the
drawing
week's
the
not
most
over
attention.
yet.
And-
Weekend's not over
yeah.
yet. And, we may have some more.
You were talking about stockpiling quarterbacks. I think we're going to see an open quarterback competition. Like, it'll be interesting to see if anybody can take, if Taylor Green's here, if anybody takes his job.
I think it's possible. I like competition at every position, but I particularly like competition at quarterback. I think it's important, and I think Arkansas does need to stockpile some guys there. I think that play, and I say this respectfully to Taylor Green, I'm not saying anything they don't know. Arkansas's got to get better at that position.
It's not
They've
just
got to.
It's not just fans thinking about quarterback either. It impacts the confidence of your team. It impacts who wants to play here. Rick in Garfield, you got about 40 seconds. Fire away. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Chuck, I've listened to you over the years, and I really appreciated your show. Called in a few times back in the day. Bo, I've listened to you too, and I used to once upon a time work for Delano Cotton.
Okay.
And I never saw him away from the job site without a bass boat hooked up to his truck when I was working. But anyway, but I really appreciate y'all, and you've been just a real blessing in the morning when I'm going to work.
Wow, Rick, thanks for calling.
Thank you, Rick.
That
That's
really
nice
means
of
a
you to
lot.
say.
Appreciate you
Thank
taking the time to say that. Put a smile on our face this morning. Approaching the 8 o'clock hour, Brandon Marcello's coming up on the Chuck and Bo Show.
15 Days of Deals starts now at Fayetteville Auto Park. There's never been a better time to buy. For the next 13 days only, everything is on sale. Aggressively priced up front, based on the Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor. Tons of pre-owned below $29,999, plus all your favorite new models: Honda, Acura, Toyota, Chevrolet, and more. Our biggest sales event ever. Now through November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy, this is it. Tons of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose. The deals of the year are here at Fayetteville Auto Park. We've got a great selection of pre-owned, many priced under $29,999, but only for a limited time. Closeout pricing means you save big on every new or pre-owned. What are you waiting for? You've only got a few days to lock in these limited time offers. Absolutely ends November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show, located on West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Online at FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Pre-owned sale. All offers mutually exclusive. Expires 11/30/24.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnomcosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A great pair. Really honored that you guys are doing this, listening over here in Jonesboro.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Sunny skies. It isn't going to be as cool. Our high temperatures this afternoon right around the mid-40s. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight. Overnight lows in the low 30s. Saturday back to sunshine. A high in the upper 50s north, low 50s south, and then a little wet weather Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Whether you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Finding your joy in cycling is the main goal at Champion Cycling. Champion Cycling takes pride in helping you find the right bike. Whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure, Champion Cycling has a great selection of bikes, including brands like Specialized Surly and Salsa. Need service or repair? The friendly, professionally trained technicians will assess your bike's needs and provide you with a free, no-obligation estimate. Find your joy in cycling at Champion Cycling, 5500 Mazur Road in Fort Smith.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
I'm a fight like hell for the University of Arkansas the entire time that I'm the head coach.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Robert, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
I should say it?
Say what?
Mom, I think he wants to say that it's Christmas time.
Okay, you can say it.
It's Christmas, everyone, and guess what, guys?
What?
Santa shop's here at the Stadium Shop.
Oh, Lord, Mom, here comes that dad side.
Nope, I saw him. Matt, you still do believe in Santa, right?
Sure. Believers do get more presents.
Okay, so what did he get?
Let me guess. A couch for the elves, collars for the reindeer, maybe even a hoodie for Frosty. You know how cold he gets being made of snow and all.
And let me guess, some Razorback jewelry for Mrs. Claus?
Well, yeah, Matt, you better get that Google machine all warmed up. He said he was going to be ordering some more stuff.
Google machine?
Yeah, you know, the Interfacegram WW.
I think he's talking about our website, which you should know by now, Dad. It's shoponrazorback.com.
Or have Santa give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
So come by 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville, and you just might catch Santa Hog.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Ho, ho, hogs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
That Bo, what an idiot. I mean, that guy is the dumbest. How did he get a show? Just carrying the water, bootlicker.
Wait, those are things that have all been said about me.
I understand, and me too.
Was that you?
Yeah, it was me. I
You've
gotta
been
say,
doing it the whole time.
I'm actually a social media master. I just haven't clued anybody in on that.
You are.
I'm the one firing all these things off. No, if I was rich, I would be. I'd just be taking pot shots.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you
Bo.
believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
What a time.
What a time to be alive.
What a time. We got college football playoff implications this weekend. We got the transfer portal.
Got a basketball game tomorrow.
The Hogs and UT San Antonio. We got Brandon Marcello on the Chuck and Bo Show, 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports, to talk about some college football. And Brandon, this is, first of all, thanks for hopping on with us. This is such a volatile time, I think, in college football, with the transfer portal, the revenue sharing coming. We played a comment from Brett Bielema earlier, said that it was signing day for some, it was National Bank Day for others. And, of course, we got the playoff coming. And like for an SMU Clemson team, they got a championship game to play this weekend, but they had signing day in the middle of the week. I mean, is this as wild a time as we've ever had in college football?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's just, coaches' schedules are just
incredibly busy. The support staffers are running around just living off of coffee and energy drinks, trying to get everything in line. It's crazy. And it's going to be even more nuts for some of these teams that are going to have to prepare for playoff games when the field's announced, because the transfer portal opens up Monday. It always opens up the Monday after conference championship weekend. And so you can imagine what that's going to be like for some teams that are going to have to play games here in 2 weeks with the first round of the playoffs, and then potentially have to play as many 4 straight games in the postseason if they want to win a national championship, while dealing with the portal, of course, during this entire time. And the other thing is like you've got to balance a roster that's going to include new roster limits because of revenue sharing. So a lot of coaches out there, Dabo Swinney's mentioned this as well, they're going to have to, quote unquote, cut players to make room because of these new scholarship limits and roster limits that are going to be coming into play starting next season. And a lot of them are going to start making those moves before this upcoming semester, just to give these kids some more opportunities and possibilities and time to move on should they choose. So it's simply put, it's quite the disruptive time.
Yeah, it makes things somewhat unpredictable, if not really unpredictable. Let me ask you one question before we move into some games. How much more transparency over the next 12 months do you think we'll get on the deals that players are getting? There's so many layers of college athletics that are not set up to be professional, but we're doing it anyhow. And we've got people that have, and I don't mean any disrespect to anyone, but these people that are working in this college football world, most of them weren't trained and don't have the experience of all the front office type things that go on at, say an NFL level. And as fans, we don't have any transparency or any knowledge of how the money's being spent. So how much more transparency do you think we'll have?
Zero. I think it's going to become even worse for a lot of people. They're going to be frustrated because we're in a competitive business, right? That's what it's become. And as you said, this is going to become like the NFL. You're going to have front offices, and you do now in a lot of places already, where they're putting together these new NIL contracts that some of the schools have overtaken at this point, and they're going to say, hey, we're going to give you this much money. Some of these new NIL deals that I say NIL, think of it this way. We talk about signing a national letter of intent. A lot of these kids now, starting this past week on signing day, we're signing pretty much contracts that were tied to their NIL. Some of them even included like buyouts for them if they were wanting to leave and break their contract. But the issue here is that unlike the NFL where all those deals are public, you hear Aaron Rodgers signed this for so many years or whatever, that's not public information, and it's not going to be unless there is we end up getting a players union and doing all that, but that seems to be years down the road. So what you're getting into right now is you're just going to hear a bunch of rumors, as we've already heard over the last several years, about a player getting paid $8 million for 4 years or whatever. You're just going to continue to hear that. And the problem with that is that in this competitive business, what's real and what's not. And a lot of these players are going to be able to use these fake numbers that are floating out there to maybe get more out of their NIL deals with these schools. And the other thing is these schools are handling NIL differently. We know the cap is $20.5 million for all of their athletic department, but how much of that's actually going to football? And are they distributing that money equally among those players? No, not all of them. And again, that information is not readily available. And so every school is going to be doing things differently. There is no common theme here other than it's just going to be complete chaos from the standpoint of no one's going to know who's making what. And boy, is that going to frustrate the hell out of coaches and support staffers and front office guys in college football.
Is it fair to say, Brandon, that even though it is frustrating for coaches, that ultimately the schools don't want people to know exactly what these deals entail? Because there's a lot of money on the table, and I've always maintained that if fans really knew how much money was changing hands, they'd be staggered by it. I mean, do you think that there is the desire maybe on everybody's part when it's all said and done to keep this private?
Maybe so, but I think at some point, if this is going to become, I mean, it is a professional model now. There's going to have to be some transparency. There's going to have to be some negotiation from a group setting. There's going to have to be a players' union at some point. It's going to happen. We're moving that direction. It's just a matter of when, because there's going to be need to be some uniformity, because there's going to be a lot of complaints from coaches, from athletic directors, administrators, to their conferences about, listen, we're not playing on the even playing field. We need to know how much the fair market value, which is something that continues to be played up, is for a quarterback at our school compared to another school. There needs to be some type of uniformity here, even within the own conferences, if not across all of college football and college sports. So if that ends up happening, which I believe it will, I just think it's going to take a long time to get there, because good luck getting one Congress on board with anything, but also hundreds of administrators across the sport. It's going to take some time, and until then, you're going to hear all kinds of crazy numbers and coaches looking over their back trying to figure things out.
Brandon Marcello, CBS Sports, 24/7 Sports, covering college football. Let's get into the playoff implications this weekend and the championship games for the conferences. SMU, Clemson. If SMU loses the game, are they out of the playoff, in your opinion?
Yeah, I'm actually just writing this when you guys called me. The thing is, I think the committee's already played their hand, and it's not just, Alabama being the last at-large spot, but how far does SMU drop if they lose this weekend? And I think they've already not pre-planned this, but they've built this in this excuse, all right? If SMU, I believe, ends up losing by double digits, I believe they're going to drop SMU out of the playoff and bump Alabama up. So Clemson and Alabama will be in there at that point. And why do I say that? Because Ward Manuel, the committee chairman, explained this week that, listen, Miami dropped below Alabama because they're 0-1 against the top 25 in the CFP right now. SMU at this moment is 0-1. So even if we froze the resumes right now, they have a similar resume to Miami. If they go on and lose this extra game, which everybody argues, why do you penalize a team for playing an extra game? Well, if you drop to 0-2 and you own 0 wins against the top 25, they will probably drop them if they lose by a healthy margin in a similar fashion as Miami. And I believe that magic number at this point, based off the history of this committee, is 6 spots. And why do I say that? They dropped Miami 6 spots last week after losing to Syracuse. A few weeks ago, they dropped Alabama 6 spots as well when they lost to an unranked team on the road. So if you take that into consideration, even with them playing in a championship game, and everybody will argue you can't really penalize a team for playing there, well, you have to drop them somehow. And I think they'll drop them enough, maybe 6 spots, as many as 6 spots, for losing a game, and that would put Alabama in the field. But I think to do that, they would have to lose by a healthy margin on a neutral field in the championship game.
Does the quality of the game matter? I mean, you're talking about point spread. I'm of the thought that if SMU loses, regardless, they're out. But let's say it's a really well-played game, and maybe cynics like me begin to think differently about Big 12 football than maybe we did before the game started. It's still hard to imagine, though, that it's ACC football.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It's still hard to imagine both those teams getting in. It's just really hard to imagine both those teams getting in.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to consider that. I would argue that because of SMU playing the schedule they have, and also, we'll argue strength of schedule, strength of record, but they've beaten the teams they've played mostly by healthy margins themselves. It isn't like they're playing a lot of tight games. They've gone on the road, blown teams out. I mean, heck, they're the first team in the last 25 years to beat a team on the road when losing the turnover margin 6-0. I think that tells you just how good SMU is, even when everything's going against them. But again, it comes down, I think, to strength of record, as you said, Chuck. Alabama is 3-1 right now against the top 25. Yeah. SMU's 0-1. And as much as we talk about comparing Team A against Team B, Alabama and SMU or whoever, really, to me, the committee won't say this, and they never will because it goes against their bylaws or whatever you want to say. This is about two conferences and the strengths of them.
No
ACC
question.
And SEC.
Right. No question.
Right, because Alabama lost to non-top 25 teams. You know? I mean, they might be 3-1 against the top 25, but they got two terrible losses.
Exactly. But in the end, they love that finite number of top 25, and they've got 3 wins against teams top 25 right now.
I just think you need to use common sense. If Clemson beats SMU, the choice is SMU or Alabama. SMU's out. I mean, they just are.
Let's go through quickly some other games just to get them in real quick. Texas, Georgia. Texas, I think a lot of people picking against them. They haven't played a lot of tough games. What are your thoughts?
I'm going Georgia here, and here's the reason. Much like the ACC championship game, it's going to be pretty much a road game, I think. I think there's going to be a lot of Texas fans there, but I think it's going to be difficult to play there. I mean, Texas has already lost and got beaten pretty soundly by Georgia at home, and now they got to go to Atlanta and play. I also say this. I still think Texas's offense is experiencing some problems. They haven't been able to run the ball effectively, and so they're doing a lot of the screen game to kind of counter that a little bit. They haven't really hit explosive plays down the field as a result because teams are playing more up in the box. That fits Georgia very well defensively with their scheme. I like Georgia again this rematch.
How about Penn State, Oregon?
I think Oregon wins a tight one. I love Penn State and how they diversify that offense quite a bit this year with the tight end Tyler Warren, and also they've been able to hit some plays down the field. I think that Penn State, much like Ohio State way back in October, matches up well in the trenches with Oregon. But, man, the Ducks are as healthy as they've been all season, and that is a scary thought considering how well they've played all year. But I think this will be tight. I think there'll be a lot of Penn State fans there, a lot. And it's going to be a great atmosphere. Oregon sneaks one out.
Does UNLV have a chance to upset Boise State tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I do think that Ashton Genty's a little beat up. I think that offensive line's a little beat up. We've seen some of that here in the last recent weeks. But I think in the end, if Ashton Genty can stay in there and not miss more than a series just to rest, I think Boise State should win that game just because also that game is going to be on the road for UNLV. I think a lot of these championship weekends, we're not talking about this enough. We're going to talk about this in 2 weeks about playoff home field advantage, but we're getting a sneak peek of it this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got Boise State hosting.
Yep.
You got Georgia pretty much hosting in Atlanta.
Clemson.
You've got Clemson pretty much hosting in the ACC championship game. I think it's going to play a big part this weekend.
Chuck opened the week talking about Arkansas and what a big week it could be. You know, Petrino was a candidate for the Charlotte job. Who was going to transfer? What kind of week do you think it's been for Arkansas?
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I've been more affected by what's happened outside of that with my friend Bob Holt.
Right.
So it's been a terrible week for me
right.
and for all of us. But, yeah, when you talk about recruiting and everything, I think getting that quarterback was big. I'll say that. I thought that was big for the Razorbacks. When it comes to Bobby Petrino and Charlotte, Charlotte doesn't have any money, guys. There's been several coaches that have passed up on that job here in the last few days. And that wasn't much of a surprise to me that Petrino ended up pulling out of that as well. But, keep your eyes out there for the other system. I mean, Travis Williams is someone who's been getting some buzz as well. That kind of shows you just how strong Arkansas is at the coordinator spots right now.
Brandon, you mentioned Bob Holt, and we wanted to get your thoughts on that. You were colleagues and friends, and he, I'm going to guess, was a mentor to you like he was to a lot of young writers. Could you tell us about your relationship with him?
I worked alongside Bob for a few years as a colleague, a teammate, and also just as a competitor for a couple other years, and obviously stayed in touch. You guys know Bob's doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He's the gentlest man I've never known, so kind. I know a lot of us would roll our eyes at just how many questions he would ask, but also when you would talk to him, how long-winded he could be. But I always enjoyed that. I'm a long-winded guy myself, and I get going. And every time I would, over the years, after leaving Arkansas, when I was at media days or something like that, and if I saw Bob, I immediately went up to him and talked to him. And if there was a meal, I would go saddle up next to him just so I could talk to him and listen to his stories. And I'll tell you what, the thing that no one ever sees is just how helpful he can be with everybody in this profession. Every time I've called him and asked for advice or asked for a phone number, if he could help me with something. In fact, he just helped me out back in April, getting a phone number for Nolan, to chat with Nolan, and set that up for me. And, the thing that just gets me is, I saw Bob several times the last few months, and every time I saw him, he'd always reminded me that I keep promising him lunch. And a few weeks ago in the press box, I told him, hey, I promise you that things are going to lighten up here hopefully in December or January, and I'm going to call you, and we're going to go get that lunch. And I'll never get to have that lunch. So I love you, Bob. I love you. So Bob's a great man. I'm so glad everybody's celebrating him right now, and I can't tell you how much last night, for example, just been reading all the tributes people have had on him, and how happy it is to hear so many people have been affected.
Yeah, really incredible, the outpouring. Brandon, thank you. Thank you for the time. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks, guys.
Back in a minute on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Rick's in Fayetteville. Rick, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's a privilege to talk with you guys, and I love the Razorbacks.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Save up to $15,000 off. The Red Tag savings are back at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Your choice. Save up to $15,000 off new Silverados or up to $15,000 off new Blazer EVs. That's how we do Red Tag savings at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 12/2/24.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. That's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
And Hog Noxious, our listeners just don't let us down. He said, Chuck, explain it to them. Smash or trash by saying swipe right or left.
Gelco Outdoors and Sig Arms are teaming together this Saturday only to make your Christmas very merry. Gelco will be paying the sales tax on all Sig firearms and optics. Free box of ammo with qualifying purchase of 200 or more on any Sig products. Register to win a Romeo 5 G2 Red Dot Scope, and there will be Sig swag giveaways with Sig purchases as long as it lasts. Sig Arms sales representatives will be in the store Saturday from 9 till 3. Merry Christmas from Sig Firearms and Gelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Truett Tollett with WT Equipment in Springfield. As the year ends, we're motivated to move inventory and meet all your equipment needs. Take advantage of year-end pricing on New Holland, Bobcat, Hustler, Steel, and more across our 8 locations in Arkansas and Louisiana. Stop by for a cup of coffee or visit us online at WTEquip.com. Thank you for your business, and we wish you a Merry Christmas, a safe New Year, and a prosperous 2025.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Jelco Outdoors and Sig Arms are teaming together this Saturday only to make your Christmas very merry. Jelco will be paying the sales tax on all Sig firearms and optics. Free box of ammo with qualifying purchase of 200 or more on any Sig products. Register to win a Romeo 5 G2 Red Dot Scope, and there will be Sig swag giveaways with Sig purchases as long as it lasts. Sig Arms sales representatives will be in the store Saturday from 9 till 3. Merry Christmas from Sig Firearms and Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I was 6 years old. We played him with a legendary quarterback, Joe fucking Ferguson. 31-7. We sent him back to home.
I thought he went all the way. I didn't think it was a check swing. I didn't think it was a check swing. I thought he went around.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, glad you're back. Friday. Wow. We had a little moment here in the studio where, like
we always do.
Yeah, during the timeout, as we say. Yeah. Bo was, going on and on and on with some thought, and I didn't realize it. And you had to be here to get the full effect.
Well, what happened is Chuck made some comments, and I began commenting back, but I didn't know that he put his headphones back on, and all of a sudden he screams out, "Cigars!"
Well, they were doing a cigar commercial, and, I wasn't paying attention to anything you had to say.
What just happened?
I don't even know what you were talking about. I just looked over, and Bart was laughing.
But, you made a good point there. You had to be here. And if you miss any Chuck and Bo show, you had to be here. Yeah. And so you're going to have to go get it on the podcast at Spotify or Apple.
It's a beautiful segue.
Chuck and Bo show. A little promo there, Chuck.
And YouTube.
On demand.
And YouTube. On demand on YouTube as well. You can watch the whole show on YouTube.
Really? You can go back and watch the whole thing?
Watch the whole thing.
Well, on Twitter, if you follow us on Twitter, we have a link out that you can view the show, and many people view the show there all over the world, by the way.
Isn't
all
that
over
amazing?
the world. From Anchorage, Alaska to Indonesia. People are watching on YouTube and Twitter.
Think they really are right
they
now?
Are. They
in
are.
Alaska and Indonesia.
Well,
you really think so?
At times, yeah.
Okay. Well, you've heard from them?
Well, I have.
Okay.
There's several
it's the
ice
middle
truckers.
Of the night in Indonesia.
Those ice road truckers got to listen to something, Chuck.
I understand.
You're a Razorback fan. You're driving across the ice.
That's true. That's a very good point. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that. I'm sure they are listening.
Yeah.
In Alaska and Indonesia right now. Zach Gillen from Oaklawn's going to be up in just a little bit. Bart's Locks. Bart's Locks. After a, what was it last week? 1-5 week. Bart? 1-4.
Okay.
2 and 3.
Settle down.
What was
one
it
and
last
3.
week?
1 and 2.
1 and 3.
1 and 3.
All right, 1 and 3.
Ever since you started picking a lot of games, it's gone.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Well, ever since we got into the games that mattered.
Right.
Basically, your record's tanked.
Again.
I mean, anybody
do you want to
can
make
pick
money, or do you?
Anybody can pick New Mexico games in October. Anybody can do that.
Anybody.
It's about winning the games in November that matter. Tim's in Greer's Ferry. Tim, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, Tim, what's happening?
Oh, Tim.
Hey, guys, I just got in the truck. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm going to throw
We don't either. We don't either.
All right,
fire away.
Okay. So, do you think at any point when these kids that are coming to college get the NIL deal, will there ever be any sort of a contract they're going to have to sign that says, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars, you're going to play 12 regular season games, and I don't care if it's the playoff or the toilet bowl, you're locked into playing every game this team is scheduled to play, barring injury or, something to that effect. And could there be a 2-year contract? Hey, we're going to pay you this. You're locked in here for 2 years. You're not going to go jump in the portal at the end of this season.
Yes, that does happen. But here's the thing that we need to understand is it's different for different states. These are state laws that have to be followed, and not college, for example. So, what's legal in Texas to make a player signed versus Mississippi versus Arkansas are not all the same.
Right.
And I've been told that at Mississippi, the players there have signed contracts that they have to play all the way through a bowl game. Again, the problem, Chuck, or one of the problems, is there's no transparency like there is in the NFL with what a contract is or what they signed or what they agreed to, or like there is with a head coach. And so you don't ever know what the agreements have been, and you don't ever know where your money's going specifically, or at least in some cases, if you're donating to NIL.
I don't think there's going to be a dramatic change in terms of bowl participation, and here's why. Because guys are still going to go into the portal. And when they go into the portal, they're not going to play for their old team in the bowl game. And guys that are going pro are still going to declare, and they're not going to play in the bowl game. So I don't think bowl game participation is going to be affected as much as people think. If you really stop and look at it, the guys that aren't playing are the guys who are leaving or the guys who are going pro. So I don't know how much it's going to affect that. But I do think, and as you said, I mean, there are agreements, they're being signed right now that include stipulations. It's interesting we say, well, you can't have pay for play.
That's what we have.
Well, but do you have pay for play or do you just have pay? There's a lot of guys getting paid that aren't playing. And I know for a fact there are a lot of people out there that are paying for that wonder why players aren't playing. And I think there's got to be, as crazy as it sounds, it's got to be pay for play. And it's got to be understood that that the play is part of the pay and that they can't be separated. So, but I don't know that bowl participation is going to be affected all that much anyway.
Speaking of getting paid, what kind of odds do we have on championships and the playoffs? We'll ask Zach Gillum.
I need some picks for Oaklawn this afternoon. Forget these football games. I need some picks.
Oh, we'll see if he's got that too. Zach Gillum, Director of Sports Wagering and Sports Betting at Oaklawn Sports, joins us next on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning. Bo, it's good to hear you back on the radio, man. I missed you in the afternoons, and you guys seem to be gelling right along. So it's good to hear both of you on morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
You say, well, that's a tough thing to say when we live in a tough world.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Previously on Halftime.
All right, you got Notre Dame's in. You got 4 in the Big Ten are in, and 3 in the SEC are in. So there's your 8 right there. The ACC, okay, you're going to get 1 out of the Big 12, so there's 9. The ACC, if Clemson wins, they're getting 2. That would be 11. So then you're only getting 1 more team. And then Boise State, are they not? And
then
the
it's
other?
a group of 5. Then it's a group of 5.
So there's your 12 right there. That we just did it.
Listen to Halftime weekdays from 11 to 2, only on ESPN 95.3.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a 4th-generation family-owned business taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Looking to boost your health and feel your best? Elite Wellness and Aesthetics in Fort Smith is here to help. Starting at only $200 a month, semaglutide and tirzepatide are weight loss shots that can kickstart your journey to a healthier, more confident you. And with Elite's hormone therapy treatments, you can restore balance, energy, and vitality. Take control of your health today with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. 479-242-9355 to schedule your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Robert, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
I should say it?
Say what?
Mom, I think he wants to say that it's Christmas time.
Okay, you can say it.
It's Christmas, everyone, and guess what, guys?
What?
Santa shop's here at the Stadium Shop.
Oh, Lord, Mom, here comes that dad side.
Nope, I saw him. Matt, you still do believe in Santa, right?
Sure. Believers do get more presents.
Okay, so what did he get?
Let me guess. A couch for the elves, collars for the reindeer, maybe even a hoodie for Frosty. You know how cold he gets being made of snow and all.
And let me guess, some Razorback jewelry for Mrs. Claus?
Well, yeah, Matt, you better get that Google machine all warmed up. He said he was going to be ordering some more stuff.
Google machine?
Yeah, you know, the Interfacegram WW.
I think he's talking about our website, which you should know by now, Dad. It's shoponrazorback.com.
Or have Santa give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
So come by 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville, and you just might catch Santa Hog.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Ho, ho, hogs.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the
Oh, well, now I think I know what was said there. Chuck thought Eddie said it, and then Mike Tyson really did.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Big day at Oaklawn.
Oh, yeah.
The ponies are going to be running. We've got the Oaklawn Sports app. Got to be a busy weekend. Got football games. We got Zach Gillum on the line, Director of Sports Betting at Oaklawn. And good morning, Zach, first. And, man, it's going to be a busy weekend around that place. We got
it's going to be a wonderful weekend.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We didn't have you at first. We got you now.
Yeah, we're good.
Gotcha. Well, good morning, guys. Yeah, no, it's going to be a wonderful weekend here at Oaklawn. Opening day for racing. The 2024-2025 season has started, or starts at 12:30. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have corned beef Saturday. That's 2 sandwiches and a soda for $1 on Saturday.
That's big.
We have a lot of promotions going on the side where people can instantly win prizes. They can start earning entries for other prizes. So this is going to be a wonderful weekend.
Chuck wants to know, and he knows you can't, but he still wants to know. Can you give him a tip on any races today?
Yeah, give me some tips today, man. I got my app
He's ready,
out. I'm
he's
ready to go, man.
I
am. I'm ready to go today.
Hey, I love watching and wagering on the horses as well, and I typically I'll have a few bets today, but you know I like to see a few races before I dive in too hard.
It's been a minute, so let me ask you a technical question. Do you bet the races on the sports betting app, or can you also go to Oaklawn Anywhere?
Yeah, Oaklawn Anywhere.
So that is a great question. So all of our pari-mutuel horse racing is done through our Oaklawn Anywhere app.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It is a phenomenal app. It is 2 separate apps, so it's a different login than your Oaklawn Sports app. But it is very simple to use, easy to sign up. It has most of the exact same options to deposit into. If you have not signed up for Oaklawn Anywhere, they do have a sign-up offer right now, $150 to new users. So you can check out all the details at either Oaklawn.com or betoaklawn.com.
Me and Oaklawn Anywhere were very tight during COVID. We're very good friends. Races all over the world.
No, you're right.
It was fantastic. All right, back to the Oaklawn Sports Betting app. What are the odds right now on national champion or playoffs or just along those lines? What are some things that you found interesting as we get into the playoff here and even these conference championship games?
Yeah, so looking at the national championship, one of the things that stood out to me this week that's been pretty interesting is Oregon has been our favorite for the last month or so, and they are now the second choice. Texas has moved to plus 300, top choice to win it all. Oregon is at plus 375. Georgia is at plus 400. Ohio State at plus 475. And then you have a decent separation to the 5th team. Penn State is at plus 700. Notre Dame at plus 800. And then we get to the double digits. So Alabama plus 1,400. Tennessee 22 to 1. So once you get outside those top 4 teams, the odds really start to climb.
Man, what about SMU? Just curious. Somebody texted us.
35 to 1. 35 to 1. And you know who they face this weekend? Clemson, 60 to 1. UNLV, 250 to 1.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
That's good. What kind of action are you getting on the championship games this weekend? Anything stand out one way or another?
You know, I don't think anything's been too surprising at this stage. But right now, looking at the games, we can kick it off with the Mountain West. That is tonight, Friday. Boise State, currently a 4-point favorite. That is where we opened it, where it still remains. And we have had, which has been somewhat surprising to me, but most of our action has been on Boise. It's pretty much all been coming Boise so far this week.
Wow. I'm a little surprised by that.
I am too, Chuck. That's not what I expected. I've been wrong on this prediction so far.
I think SMU, last time I looked at the app, is -2 in the Clemson game. Obviously, that's the game that seems to have the most weight as it relates to who's getting in and not getting in at the playoff. What kind of action have you seen there?
Yeah, now that one has been a little more back and forth. It is slightly leaning towards SMU, which isn't too big of a surprise. We do have I'd say a group of bettors that do follow SMU, and we've taken action on them throughout the years, even when they weren't ranked number 8. So, but it is leaning that way. This line has been kind of bouncing around more than the other championship games. It was as low as 1 and as high as 3. And in fact, some books actually open this with the favorite Clemson -1. So this one's been the most active in terms of lines, and I think it is possibly because of what you said there, Bo, that this one really has more implications potentially on the playoffs.
I don't know if there's anything that's happened that you've evaluated that is impacted by this, but I'm just curious because things are so different because of this 12-team playoff. Is there less interest, more interest, any changing interest in some of these championship games just from a betting perspective?
That's a good question.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's a great question. And, you know, something I wish I had been around for was the BCS era, just to see how the wagering on the bowls were back then. I felt like it could have just been my own opinion, but I felt like there was more interest in all of the bowl season. And then when we went to the playoffs, it really became more focused on the New Year's Day bowls, those 2 playoff games, and then the championship. So I think this 12-team playoff is going to drive some more interest into some additional games, maybe get us back to closer to the BCS days where it's not just those games on New Year's Day that we're interested in.
Anything that you would point to as if you go to the app, like prop bets, not necessarily player prop bets, but maybe anything interesting from a prop bet perspective regarding the same lines we just talked about in terms of the conference championship games or the playoff, like where games might be, those types of things?
No prop bets like that. Looking at now, I do expect once we get the playoff odds the playoff rankings finalized, and then we have those games starting to post, that we will see some prop bets or some unique bets that might go with matchups or what seed might end up winning it or color of a team. I mean, those are some of the things that we've seen during March Madness. So I could see that. We really try to tie it to something that's going to be very clear cut. It's easy to settle. So, March Madness, when we say what mascot's going to win, it is very clearly accepted what the team's mascots are. So things like that is what we can look at. Potentially, will it be an SEC team? Will it be a Big Ten team? Will it be a Big 12 team? So those will be some of the prop bets you can look forward to once those playoff games start posting.
Real quick, Zach, before we let you go, who's the favorite to win the Heisman?
Favorite to win the Heisman. So that is a wager we actually do not offer here at Oaklawn. I like to actually reference back in the day when, in my opinion, BMAC got ripped off once or twice, however you want to view it. But if you could imagine back then, if we offered that wager, took all that action, we even felt like he probably should have been paid, and then nobody gets paid, the sourness that could leave in the mouth. So I don't know. I feel like it's become more of a popularity contest than truly a wager that's the best player in the sport. So it's just something we choose not to take. It's something it's not. You can find other books that do offer it. I know Hunter is the prohibited favorite, and he has been for some time. And I know the Boise State running back, he's that second choice, really the only one that looks like he has a chance to maybe upset him. But I don't know. It looks like it's been a foregone conclusion for some time.
Zach, always great. Thanks for the insight.
Thank you, Zach.
Appreciate the perspective.
Absolutely.
Thanks so
Y'all
much.
have a great day.
Yeah, have a great weekend. Enjoy opening day at Oaklawn. College football playoffs here. The hunt for the NFL playoffs heating up. Get the Oaklawn Sports app. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. Get the advice you trust.
That's right.
With Bart's Locks.
Bart's Locks, baby.
Coming up next. Can we just say, for all of you who get up early in the morning and you work so hard, man, we're glad you're here. We just really appreciate all the work you do to make Arkansas better.
You talking to me?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
This holiday season, give a gift that sparkles brighter than ever. A diamond from Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, premier destination for diamonds in Northwest Arkansas. At Blakeman's, we don't just help you find the perfect diamond, we guide you through the journey, teaching you everything you need to know to make the most meaningful choice. Whether it's for a proposal under the mistletoe, or a holiday anniversary, or simply a way to say I love you. Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting. betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pasco heated air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pasco Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
I want to make a couple of points here because I have the floor.
All of it. The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics. Favorite hog memory growing up, Cecil?
When we beat OU in the Orange Bowl in 1978, I was living in Allen Grove Projects, and it was a shutout at halftime, and I ran out of the house. I ran from one end of the projects to the other end screaming, "Go Hogs." I'll never forget that. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Hey, is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Gail, we got spring weddings coming up.
A lot of brides are planning their weddings for spring, and Rainwater's is ready to get them all set up, match up your colors, make all your guys look good. Come to Rainwater's, you get to try it on immediately, and you know that it fits, and we'll take care of you.
When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you.
Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, because it's fun to look good.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
We have one commercial break in the hour that is what we call, in the industry, a hard break. Meaning, in other words, it's going to fire.
Meaning it's not soft.
Yeah, whether it's not a soft break.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
How about Jake Bates?
How about Jake Bates? Game winner.
Lions just
winner.
finding ways to win. Beat
They
the
clinched,
Packers
didn't they?
last night.
They clinched last night? I think they did.
I don't know.
I believe so.
I would go with your gut on that.
I mean, they're 12-1. I'd like to think they did.
I woke up late.
I think they clinched home field.
You know, I came
or the
in here-
division or
They're
something.
good.
They clinched something. I did see that.
My intention when I left the house was to come in here and learn things from you, and then I had a lot of epiphanies on the way in.
Yeah.
Sorry for stealing the show.
Yeah, it's all right, teacher.
It's time to get some real insight.
There we go.
It's time for Bart's 100% guaranteed to maybe win locks.
Bart's Locks. It's appointment radio.
Bart picks them.
Maybe.
You collect. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
Except for last week.
Double R, he's got the real stuff. But Bart, he's doing okay.
1-3 though, but you
What's
need a bounce
overall
back
record?
week. You need a bounce back week, Bart.
We need a bounce
What's the
back.
overall record, Bart?
I'm broke.
What is it?
You're broke.
I'm broke. Well, I went with your picks. I let it ride last week on your picks, and I went 1-3.
He gave all his money to Patrick Kudus, and he's going somewhere else.
That's right.
I mean, think about it. Think about it. That could happen.
Texas, Georgia, SEC championship game.
All right, here we go.
Texas, a 3-point favorite in that one. I think something's wrong with Georgia. Like, they just don't seem right and haven't for the second half of the season. Now, look, Kirby Smart's a great coach. Georgia's probably going to go in there and do their thing. Although Kirby 2-4 in SEC championship games. I think
playing Saban.
Well, sure, but still.
Who you got?
Texas. -3.
Okay.
Wow.
The Longhorns.
Wow.
It's,
Hook 'em.
It's
Hook 'em.
really hard to beat
Brian's
good
so happy.
teams.
Bart loves
again.
Texas.
Bart
Hates-
loves Texas.
Hates the
No.
Razorbacks.
Horns up. Put
He's
'em
a
up.
Texas
Put 'em
fan.
up.
He's
No,
a Texas
horns
fan.
Put 'em
down,
up.
horns down. Make sure everybody
Yeah, put 'em
online
up.
can
You
see
can't
this
do
right
that.
there.
You
Yeah.
can't pick a lock and then root against it.
I know. What are you doing?
It's
Pick another game.
you got to pick with your head, cheer with your heart.
Okay.
What's next?
All right, Dad. Go ahead.
We're going to Dairy Queen, kids. Get in the car. Texas won.
Golly, stop.
Eating gingerbread lattes
Stop.
and going to look at the
Okay,
lights.
that'll
We're going
be-
to look at the
Oat milk.
Christmas
That'll be
lights
fine.
with some oat milk.
That'll be fine. Oregon, a 3-point favorite against Penn State in the Big Ten championship game, which is wild to say. Penn State 1-14 in their last 15 games against top 10 teams. They're 1-15 in their last 16 games as an underdog.
Stop picking on James Franklin.
That's
Oregon,
easy.
Oregon, bang,
Yeah,
bang,
yeah,
bang.
that was easy.
Lock it up.
Lock it up. And lastly, we're going back to just picking 3 games because picking more has not worked
That's just
out.
another opportunity to lose. Like
That's
playing
right.
in a conference championship.
That's
game.
right.
Nothing to gain.
Real quick, SMU 2-point favorite in the ACC championship game against Clemson. SMU
There you go.
wins
The Ponies.
wins the game,
The Ponies.
wins the championship,
Ponies.
goes to the playoff.
You got a hook.
All
the
right.
Ponies.
There you go.
Texas, Oregon, SMU. Lock it up. Throw away the key.
Bang.
Don't even think about it anymore. Go to Oaklawn
Bang,
Sports and
shared.
make the bet right now.
Shared.
Boom.
Bang,
Bang.
shared.
Shared. Bang.
There you go.
Boom.
What more do you need?
Well, I'll tell you, when we leave the air today, Chuck is going to learn how to send a scan on
It's
his
gonna be
phone.
big.
He needs a scanned
Yeah,
document
It's
sent.
going to be awesome. Hogs and UTSA, 1 o'clock tomorrow. No matter what your schedules say, it's at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Have a great weekend from all of us here at the Chuck and Bo Show. You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list.